Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Geaux Stros. I'm coming to you from Kagoshima, Japan, where I've been for several days now. Just kind of on a dual visit a friend trip and relaxation trip. It's about 7:45 in the morning here. The Astros game starts in about 25 minutes or so. That's when the first pitch is scheduled. But I am starting my stream a little early today just because I got some stuff set up and I want to make sure everything is working all right. So many news articles today about the trade stuff going on, trade war stuff. Pretty interesting. It seems like the news changes daily. Let me pull up the live stream on my channel, make sure it's all running good. Daniel Berry Sports, happy Saturday. And happy Sunday to you. It is Sunday here in Japan, but thank you. Audio sounds good. Okay, video is correct. Audio is good. Whoops, I need to make some minor corrections on my display. Framber Valdez's name is off center, so I will fix that. It's a minor problem. No problem for me to fix that. Easy to fix. I also have a highlight window. You can see it on the screen right now. Now, luckily for you guys, I have a TV in this hotel room, a large TV that has an HDMI input. Now, I did not bring an HDMI cable, but I was able to go down to this local store yesterday and get a cheap cable, connect it from my laptop to the TV. Now I have my preview screen. So whenever there is a good highlight, I can show you guys the highlight again. Like I normally do. I need to double check the pictures. Maybe Valdez is starting game 3. That's right. Okay, I need to change the pictures on my screen. It's Hayden Wisniewski versus Michael King. Okay, and I haven't downloaded these pictures yet, so give me just a minute. I'm going to update the pictures on the screen, guys. Oh, no, I'm not. I accidentally clicked on Jose Altuve. Save image as Hayden Wisniewski. And then he's facing Michael King. Don't want to put him in the Astros folder. Put him in the Padres folder. There it is. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to make some adjustments right now to the layout on the screen that you're seeing because I got the wrong pictures up there right now. I got game 3 pictures up. There we go. King. Where is King? Michael King. There we go. Alright, so that's the actual pitching matchup today. Hayden Wesneski versus Michael King. Okay. Michael King. Okay. I think we're all good now, guys. I think it's set up. Hayden Wesneski is on the mound for the Astros. He's facing Michael King of the Padres. I accidentally had Game 3 pitchers on the screen, but I just got all of that corrected. And now we're going to go back to the pregame screen. Still got plenty of time. Got about 10 minutes left before the first pitch of the game. Let's take a look at the lineups here. I'll see what I can't tell you about that. Padres are due up first. They're going to have Tatis Jr. leading off, followed by Arraez. Man, the text on this screen, on this TV screen, is not so good. And then Manny Machado. Those are the first two batters due up. Astros lineup, they're going to have Altuve playing second base today. He'll be leading off, followed by Paredes at third base. Jordan in left field today, batting third. Pena is going to be batting fourth, followed by Christian Walker in the fifth spot, Yainer Diaz in the sixth spot, and then Victor Caratini. Diaz will be pinch hitting today, or not pinch hitting. He'll be the DH, the designated hitter. Caratini will be catching, batting in the seventh spot. Jake Myers, who's batting .308 right now, in center field and the eighth spot. And Cam Smith batting .224 in the ninth spot. Smith, of course, had back-to-back home runs yesterday. A phenomenal game for him. Not quite sure why they have Yainer Diaz batting sixth. They should have him batting ninth. Move up these other players. Put Myers way up there, the way he's batting right now. Put him in Walker's spot. That's what I would do. Put Myers fifth behind Pena. And then Smith. Then Caratini. Then Walker. Then Diaz. I'd put Walker and Diaz in the last two slots. That's what I would do. But that's me. If they're not going to hit the ball, but Myers and Smith are going to hit the ball, then why not move them up? Why not change them? They're showing some highlights of Jeremy Pena's aggressive base running recently. Jeremy Pena's performance yesterday was pretty awesome. He actually gave the Astros an extra run simply because of hustle. scoring on Jake Meyers' single from first base. Can you imagine that? He was on first base, and here's the interesting thing. Pena did not even go on the pitch. When the pitch was thrown, he wasn't even running. He waited until the ball was hit, and he still went all the way around the bases and scored. Absolutely phenomenal. It kind of makes you wonder if Myers should get an RBI on that, or if Pena should just get a stolen base, because that's basically what it was. It had nothing to do with the hit itself. It was just Pena's base running that gave them that extra run. It's interesting. Man, they got a fast moving boat out there. That one's moving really fast. I am at this hotel where I've got a view of the sea right here. Little volcano out the window too. First pitch of the game is going to be happening in just a moment. Probably about 5 minutes according to the schedule. Hayden Wesneski with a 4.0 ERA is going to be on the mound for the Astros today. Let me see if there's a little bit more that I can tell you about Wesneski. One and one. 4.91 it says ERA at home. At home only. Overall it's just 4. He's doing a little better on the road apparently. 16 strikeouts. "21 strikeouts in 18 innings. Let's see here. In the last week, Wesneski has pitched 6 innings. He gave up 3 runs, had 10 Ks. In April, for the entire month, he's had 3 games, 18 innings pitched, gave up 8 runs. That sounds terrible, but he's been coming on recently. Most of those runs are just solo homers. He gave up 5 solo homers. If he can get that shut down, then overall he'll be pretty solid. But 21 strikeouts in 18 innings is pretty good. They're showing a lot of highlights on the pregame right now. Still got a little bit of time before the game starts, just about 2 minutes or so, 2 or 3 minutes. Notable information in the Astros lineup. I guess I'm still asleep. Maybe I need to go ahead and pour myself some more coffee. That's probably a good idea. If you look at the batting averages of the Astros right now in the lineup to see who's leading the team, obviously Altuve is still leading the team. He's got his batting average clearly over 300, and he's mostly kept it over 300 for the majority of the year. Oh, this pour over coffee filter is not so good for a second cup of coffee. It breaks down fast. But Altuve is batting .321 right now with 3 home runs and 7 RBIs. Paredes actually has 10 RBIs, also 3 home runs, but he's only batting .222. Alvarez .210, Pena .221, Walker and Diaz pretty miserable, .159 and .155. Everybody else is over 200 right now in this lineup. Caratini 238. Myers a 308 batting average. Why he's batting 8th? You got me. Cam Smith batting 224. The good thing is the Astros are slowly bringing their batting averages up. Many of these guys are batting below 200 and some of them below 100. But now none of them are batting below 100, and only 2 of them in this lineup today are batting below 200. And we've got 2 guys batting over 300. On opposite ends of the batting lineup, too. They've got Myers batting 8th with a 308, and Altuve leading off with the 321. I don't know about you guys, but I really feel like I'm okay with moving Christian Walker and Yainer Diaz down in the batting order and moving Myers up. Even Cam Smith is doing better than Walker and Diaz. You can move him up. Put Myers right in the middle of the lineup. It's fine for me. If he's going to be getting hits, singles and doubles, then put the man in the middle of the lineup. Don't keep him into 8th slot. It's just disrespectful in my opinion. They keep putting Christian Walker into the middle slots there. Within the first 4 or 5 batters right now, he's batting 6th. I'm sorry, 5th. He's batting 5th, despite such a poor performance so far this year. And yet they've got Myers batting 8th, and he's been playing outstanding ball on both ends, offense and defense. Probably got the first pitch coming up in just a moment. Daikin Park, it looks like they've got the roof closed. (15-5) are the Padres. They had a really awesome record coming in, 14-4 or 15-4, and the Astros smacked them for a loss. Arguably the best team in the MLB right now, and the Astros took game 1. Opportunity to win 2 games in a row for the first time this year. A thought occurred to me yesterday. How awesome would it be if the Astros could sweep this series? That would put the MLB on alert. Holy cow, the Astros started off a little shaky. But to be able to sweep the Padres right now would be quite the impressive and important feat. Check this out. In the last 11 games, Astros number 8 and number 9 hitters lead all MLB in batting average, base percentage, average with runners in scoring position, RBIs, and steals. That's 5 categories, guys. Jake Myers and Cam Smith are leading the MLB, all the MLB in the last 11 games. What was I just saying a moment ago? I was saying that these guys need to be moved up in the batting lineup. Why? Because they're performing, whereas Christian Walker and Yainer Diaz are not. Move them up in the lineup. Last commercial break right now, and then we're going to have the first pitch. Got a couple of comments here. Let's see. Guerrero says, fair point. I think the expectation is Walker will start producing based on historical data. Yeah, I agree. I know that that's what they expect. But you probably know historically how and I say historically, let's just say from last year, okay? Last year until recently, we know historically how the coaching has gone with the Astros, where they put a guy out there day after day after day after day because they say, well, he's just in a slump, and historically he's not like this, and we're just going to keep putting him out there. For example, Jose Abreu, where they just keep sending him out there and sending him out there and sending him out there and believing in him and thinking it's going to change, and it doesn't. And then they wind up looking ridiculous. And with Christian Walker, it's a shame because he's such a great first baseman. He's definitely a Gold Glover, and he's showing it. He's very solid at first base. I mean, even Paredes on third. Man, these guys on the corners, I was worried. I have to say, I was really worried. I know that Bregman wasn't performing so well from the offensive side. His batting just wasn't stellar anymore. He was just a mediocre player when it came to batting. But he was above average and pretty solid at third base. He was always really excellent at catching foul balls that a lot of other players would miss or not get to. His fundamentals were very strong in the field, and very, very solid on hard hit balls, difficult balls, and just a really good player at third base. And it's not an easy position to play. I played third base when I was starting off, when I was a kid, and I learned, even though for third base, I loved it because you get so much action over there. There's so much to do over there, and I loved that. I loved being able to be involved in so many plays. But I didn't have the arm strength to make those really long throws. Now, as a kid, it didn't matter. I was able to get it over there no problem, because actually the baseball field, the diamond, is a little big for kids. And so as long as you make an accurate throw, it's not too difficult to throw out runners at first base from third. But my arm was never really strong, so making lots of throws from third base over to first, it really hurt my arm. That was the one aspect of my game that was never really strong. And that's just because inside my arm here, where my bicep is, whenever I would throw the ball too much, it would just hurt. And so second base became just a perfect fit for me, because the amount of throws that I had to make, still a decent amount of throws, but the distance and the strength with which I had to throw the ball and all that kind of stuff was not nearly as high as playing third. But man, seeing Paredes just scooping up the balls and making great throws and great plays over at third has been really encouraging to me. It's been awesome. I've been very happy to see it. And seeing Christian Walker make those great plays at first base, scooping up those bad throws or whatever, or the ones in the dirt or the difficult catches, that's been encouraging. I just wish those guys would hit the ball. If Walker and Paredes were just simply keeping their batting average over 250 and hitting a modest amount of home runs and extra base hits, I'd be happy with that. I'd be fine with that, because think about that. Having a first baseman and a third baseman contributing, at least at a moderate level, is such an upgrade from last year. We didn't have that last year. To be able to have that this year, and still know that people like Altuve and Alvarez are in the lineup, plus we've got Myers coming on like he has been, and Cam Smith coming on like he is, there's a lot of reason to be excited about this lineup. So it's kind of crazy, because on paper, historically speaking, like you were saying, this lineup should be really, really good. The Astros have such great pitching overall. The starting pitching, the relief staff, man, we really do have a solid core on defense. Overall, seriously, overall on defense, we are looking good right now. Now, think about how crazy this is. I don't know about you guys, but I follow a lot of channels, a lot of Astros commentary channels, and before the season really started, actually a lot of this talk during the off season over the past several months before spring training, there was a lot of talk about, what do we do? We don't have any outfielders, and we don't have any outfielders who can hit. We've got a couple of guys who can play out there, and they're solid with catching the ball, but they don't have big arms. They don't have a tremendous home plate batting presence. Just don't have any really good options in the outfield. And now look at what we have that's been budding recently. We've got Jake Meyers coming on. Now, granted, he doesn't have the big, strong arm, but he is what I call Mr. Baseball. He's just your typical Mr. Baseball stereotype. Jake Meyers, very solid fundamental player, very dependable in the field always. Smart player on the bases too, who's able to steal bases. He's fast, he's smart, and now he's hitting the ball. Okay? Dangerous, right? Pena is who I call the Flash because he's so freaking fast, and he showed it again yesterday. He's coming on stronger now. And now with Cam Smith in right field, playing like he is, both on defense and offense, suddenly all of those fears that we had about outfielders, where's all that? See, appearances are not always the reality. Wesneski's on the mound. It looks like we're about to finally get the first pitch of the game. He's facing Fernando Tatis, who's batting .342 for the year. Here comes the first pitch of the game. Right in the middle of the plate, fouled back, strike one. Oh and 1. That fastball, about 95. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Tatis takes that one on the outside edge to his detriment. Strike two. 84-mile-per-hour sweeper. Good pitch. I'm surprised he didn't go after that one. That was a beautiful pitch. 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Ooh, almost got him. Another sweeper, but just a couple of inches too far out of the zone. Man, that could have been a strike three. But Tatis held up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beautiful sweeper. Here comes the next pitch. Low and inside. Wesneski shakes his head. He didn't get that where you wanted it. That was a sinker. The count is even, 2-2. It's nice to see the Batman, Victor Caratini, behind the plate. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Right in there, swing and a miss. Wesneski starts off with a strikeout of Tatis. Have a seat, mister. Tatis started off yesterday with an out. His first at bat was nothing doing for the Padres. 1 up and 1 down. Beautiful pitch. That brings up a raise. First pitch is inside, 76-mile-per-hour curveball. Misses by about 4 inches. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Ooh, strike on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch taken by Arraez, and that's an even count, 1-1. Here comes the pitch. Change up low. Missed the zone by several inches. 2 balls and 1 strike. No swing yet by Arraez. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Way outside by more than a foot. Caratini barely able to get it. I hear the commentators saying awry. I've been calling Arraez, but Arraez, I suppose, is the correct pronunciation. I'll try to go with that. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that's way too high, ball 4. So this is the first walk for Hayden Wisniewski in 3 games. You know, that's actually one of the things I just started to feel today is that whenever the Astros change it up, you know, they change out their catcher, they bring Alvarez into the outfield, they put Altuve back at second. I feel like they have the power now to move things around without losing any strength. It feels better, like they've got the kinks worked out. A curveball to Manny Machado is a little low for ball 1. Machado batting .307 for the year. 1-0 with 1 out, runner on first. Here's the pitch. Just a bit outside on that sweeper. Beautiful pitch, just barely missed. 2-0. Anything in the chat right now? Just Abreu reference. Yes, that's right. 2-0. Here's the pitch. 3 straight balls. That one's about 2 inches below the zone. Machado takes and takes and takes. Wisniewski stretching a little bit, taking a big breath. Here's the 3-0 delivery. This one's bounced to third. Paredes goes to second. He's able to get it. Are they going to turn the... No, they can't turn it. It was a good try. It was such a big hop, though. Paredes is kind of laughing. It looks like whenever that ball bounced up way high on that grounder. Let me see if I can show you guys the preview here. Whoops. I was too late. I hit the wrong button, guys. So I'm sorry. I'll get used to it. I hit the wrong button. I started up my video editor instead of clicking on the software here. Gavin Sheets comes to the plate, takes the first pitch for strike 1. That's right down the pipe. 79 mile per hour curveball. I literally started my DaVinci Resolve editor instead of clicking on the Prism live streamer. 0-1 is the count with 2 outs, runner on first. The failed double play, but it was such a high chopper, there was not much of a chance for that, but they did the best they could. Swing and a miss, a changeup that was almost in the dirt. Good pitch. Really fooled him. 0-2. Crowd is getting a little lively. My guess is that it's another sellout crowd today. Many Astros fans really happy to see them playing the Padres right now. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Wisniewski. Sheets swings and hits it down the first baseline and just barely gets by Walker. It bounces off his glove and goes into right field. Cam Smith grabs it and tosses it in, but that's going to be a double. Runners on second and third with 2 outs. I think I can show you the replay on this one. Here we go. Very close. Walker almost had it. Just barely touched his glove there. Okay, now let me update the base pads here. There we go. Here's the first pitch to Gonzalez. A half swing, and that's a strike 1. Man, he really got him on that sweeper. Man, I hate that sweeper. I would say that's the only pitch, when I was a batter, that's the only pitch I really would hate to face, or I hated to face, is somebody could throw a sweeper. But luckily in our league, we didn't have anybody who could really throw it very well. Another sweeper got him to almost go around again, but he was able to hold up, and that's an even count, 1-1. Oscar Gonzalez batting an even .333 for the season with a .666 OPS. How do you like that? .333 batting average, .666 OPS. Just can't make this stuff up. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Wisniewski. That's his 20th, way high, 97 mile per hour fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Runners on second and third with 2 outs. Let's see if Hayden can get out of this inning. Here's the 2-1 pitch. This is chopped down to Pena, who fires it over the first. Should be an out, no problem. That's out number 3. All good. So Wisniewski has a little bit of trouble, but he gets through it. 1 hit for the Padres, no runs. We're going into the bottom of the first. Astros and Padres tied at goose eggs. First at bat coming up in just a few moments for the Stros. Starting off with my personal hero, Jose Altuve, and I am in Kagoshima, Japan right now, looking forward to getting back to my home in Hiroshima tomorrow, actually. Now, there is a possibility that tomorrow after calling Game 3 tomorrow, I might stop in Fukuoka. Fukuoka is another city in western Japan, in a place called Kyushu. I have a friend there who, like myself, is also fighting cancer. It seems that I have too many friends with cancer, and I've lost too many family and friends to cancer. I lost a high school classmate. I don't know if I want to say luckily, but he and I didn't keep in touch over the years. We used to be really close. At one time, he was my best friend in high school, and then after we graduated, we stayed in touch for a while. We were even roommates for a time, and then we kind of drifted apart. It was mainly just because of personality differences. We never had any arguments or anything. Actually, he was very accommodating overall, even though he was very direct and very strong in his opinions, and even though I also was very opinionated at the time and all of that stuff. We still got along pretty decently well. It's just that we had different philosophies in life, and so we kind of drifted apart. But then I got diagnosed with cancer about 3 years ago, and he was diagnosed after that, but he was gone within 3 months. He's already gone. Altuve's at the plate, my hero. Takes the first pitch high for ball 1. But anyway, he passed away. Another friend of mine from New Zealand is fighting cancer. A Japanese friend of mine in Fukuoka is in the hospital right now. They just transferred her to another one. It's just ridiculous. Altuve goes straight to the third baseman with that strike. That was a sharply hit ball, but he scoops it up. Good play by Machado. So Altuve grounds out, but man, he ripped that ball. Just happened to be right at Machado. 1 away. That brings up Isaac Paredes. 4 people listening in right now, thank you very much. First pitch to Paredes is a 93-mile-per-hour sinker right in there, says the umpire. Strike 1. Nobody on base, 1 away. Astros looking for their first hit. Here's the pitch to Paredes. He takes that one low and away. A sweeper. Not a competitive pitch. Easy to lay off. The count is 1-1. That's good coffee. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's right up the middle. Paredes with the first hit. Speaking of hits, heck yes. A single right up the middle for Paredes. Astros even up the hit count, 1-1, and now they have a 1-out base runner. Nice, simple single right up the middle. I can show you guys the replay there. Right through that big gap between second and short. And that brings up Yordan Alvarez. He's got himself a base runner. Let's see what he can do. Here's the pitch. Ooh, that was about an inch outside, but the umpire said, me likey. Sweeper, strike 1. Yordan batting .210 right now, but 0 for 14 in the first inning. Holy cow, man. Change that stat. For God's sake, change that stat. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's crushed to right field. That might be gone. It's all the way out to the wall. Off the wall. Bounces over the wall. Ground rule double for Yordan Alvarez. He just launched that one. Completely crushed it into right center field. One bounce right over the wall. Whoops, I'm trying to show it to you guys. There we go. One bounce, bonk, right over the wall. Now we have runners on second and third with one out. And that brings Jeremy Pena to the plate. Man, I gotta get quicker at showing those previews. Here's the first pitch to Pena. Pena bounces it to third. They're gonna go home and to try to get, they get Paredes. Paredes tries to go home and he gets tossed out. Jordan moves over to third. So ground ball to third base. Paredes misread it. Thought he had a chance to get home, but he was easily thrown out at home. Easily. You know, Jordan actually didn't get moved over to third. He stayed at second. That's unfortunate. Runners on first and second with two outs. Fielder's choice by Pena, and Paredes misread it. Could have been bases loaded. Here's a pitch to Christian Walker. Swing and a miss on the outside. Strike one. Man, that was disappointing. Let me fix the base pads there. Okay, now it's correct. Two outs. Runners on first and second. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Walker. Swing and a miss again on that sweeper way outside. What a terrible pitch to be going after. Walker looking like an amateur right now. Wow, that sweeper was more than a foot outside the zone and low. Talk about fooling the batter. King steps off the mound. They'll take a quick break. Genius in Math says, hi there. Hi there. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. 8 people following along. Make sure you like the video if you have the chance. If you're interested in more live play-by-plays, feel free to join the channel. And there's another sweeper, but Walker doesn't go after that one. That one was even further outside. Ball 1-2. This is a great opportunity for Walker to turn his batting around. You got 2 guys on base. Do something, man. You can. You have the ability to do it. Just do it. And he doesn't. He strikes out. He swings and he misses. Walker with a really bad at bat there. There's nothing more frustrating than a guy at the plate who has the ability. You know he has the ability. And he's just not doing it. He's just not getting it done. Astros blow a tremendous opportunity right there. They have runners on second and third with 1 out. And just a misplay at home. Paredes gets thrown out easily. And now we move into the top of the second. But the Astros have 2 hits. They come away with 2 hits, no runs. Game is still goose eggs for both teams. What a circus of a circus of a first inning for the Astros. Who's due up? Let's see. I am really looking forward to getting back to my house for a couple of reasons. But the main reason is because I have finally a Space City Jose Altuve jersey. And I'm really looking forward to putting that on for these games. I wanted to get a new Astros hat. I have 2 Astros hats, and both of them are quite old. And they haven't held up very well. But the funny thing is, this hat has come apart so much. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I'll try to show you. But this one has come apart so much, like on the bill of the hat and on the sides of the hat. You see that? It makes it look vintage, and it wasn't like that originally. It just has been coming apart. There are holes on the sides. There these big holes on the bill and on the top and everything. It makes it look vintage, but actually it's just coming apart. So people think it's stylish, but in my heart I know it's just not a good quality hat. All right. Jose Iglesias comes to the plate. He'll be facing Hayden Wisniewski, who's now up to 21 pitches. Quite a bit more than I'd like to see him throw in one inning. But here comes the first pitch, low and away. Four-seam fastball. Ball one. Feel free to drop some comments in the live chat. I'll try to get a poll up there in this next inning. Swing and a miss, 92-mile-per-hour sinker, and the count is even, 1-1. Iglesias batting .325 for the year. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. He fouls that one off, 96 low and away. Just kind of threw the bat out there. I guess looking for an opposite field hit. 1-2 is the count. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball straight to Pena, who scoops it up no problem, fires the first, and that'll do it for Iglesias, one away. Nice, easy, fundamental ground ball play. Tyler Wade comes to the plate for the first time this game. He's the next to face Wisniewski. Here's the first pitch. Ground ball to third. Paredes comes over, scoops it up, fires the first. No problem. Out number two. One pitch, one out. Good play. Two ground balls. One to Pena, one to Paredes. Next batter is Elias Diaz. First pitch is on the way. Right in there for strike one. Good pitch. Batting .206 this season. Over 6 in the last several games. Right in the bottom of the zone, strike two. He takes that one, a four-seam fastball. He didn't like it too much, but that was in there. He calls timeout and wants to consider his options here. 2 outs, no runners on, 2 strikes, no balls. Daikin Park is a cute park. Isn't it interesting that I've been to the Astrodome more times than I've been to Daikin Park? That one's in the dirt. A sweeper, ball one, 1-2. When I was living in Houston as a kid, I was lucky enough to be able to go to the Astrodome several times for a few different reasons. But I saw them play the Dodgers. I saw them play the Cubs. Those are my brother and my sister's favorite teams. This one's hit into right field, and it carries to Cam Smith, who makes the catch. A little lazy line drive fly ball. And that's out number 3. It's going to do it for this inning. 3 up and 3 down for Wisniewski. Good pitching performance there. He's up to 30 pitches, but that was much better. He only needed 9 pitches to get through that inning. So much better performance than the first inning. It seems like he's found his control of the ball. We go to the bottom of the second. 1 hit for the Padres, 2 hits for the Astros. We're tied at 0. Let's see if the Astros can put something on the board here in just a moment. Anything going on in the chat? Not yet. About 7 people following along. Let me refresh my screen here. I want to see what we've got going on here. Okay, my scoreboard is correct. Bottom of the second. And 9 people watching. 6 likes. Thank you very much. Yesterday my likes didn't quite get to 20. That's just because of the amount of people that we had watching the game. I never had more than about... I think I did manage to get to 20. But it's been quite a difference from last year until now. Last year, whenever I was live streaming the games, I got to the point where I was having more than 50 or 60 people watching the games at the same time. And my likes were getting up to 55 and 60. That was about the max. I think my record on likes was around 60. I'm looking forward to the day when I get 100 likes on my live stream and I have over 1,000, or actually having 100 watching at the same time and listening in would be nice. I'm sorry about if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I've got the game on the big screen now on the TV, and the text is so difficult to read. But it looks like it says, "This Padres fan is back for more." Aha! You were here yesterday. I remember you. Thank you for coming back. I appreciate that. I try to be as hospitable as I can to the opposing team. But if you guys remember, I said yesterday, and I'll say again today, if you're a Dodgers fan, then I will definitely give you tons of grief because I can't stand them. But everybody else, I'll give you respect. Here's the first pitch to Diaz. He's facing Michael King here in the bottom of the second. Low and away for ball one. Yainer Diaz batting 155. He was 2 for 4 yesterday. He does have a grand slam this year. How about that? He grounds out one to shortstop. Iglesias backhands it, makes a bad throw to first base, but the first baseman is able to scoop it. Good catch by the first baseman. Both players making good catches, but pretty bad throw. That's like the main thing I think that first basemen really have to work on, right? Catching bad throws to first base. The Batman, Victor Caratini's at the plate. Here's the first pitch from King. He fouls it off. 92-mile-per-hour sinker. Strike one. Why do I call him the Batman? I feel like I always have to explain that. I'm going to keep explaining it until it catches on. One day in Daikin Park, they're going to be calling Caratini the Batman. And it's going to be because of me, because I started calling him that last year. He looks like a certain actor who played Batman. Can you guess who? 0-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. High and outside. The count is even, 1-1. Who does Victor Caratini look like? Which Batman actor does he look like? Appreciate the stream, says Intruso. Thank you very much. You are very welcome. I'm glad to do it. There were no English streams. And I thought, you know what? Why not? Why not give it a try? And I started last year. Next pitch to Caratini. Ooh, that was about 2 or 3 inches out of the zone, but the umpire found it favorable. Strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Come on, Batman. Here's the 1-2 pitch. A little inside, 93 miles an hour, ball 2. The count is even. Keaton? No. It's not Keaton. Much newer. Caratini fouls that one off. That fastball right in there. Stays alive. The count remains 2-2. I guess you could say he's the DC Comics multiverse era Batman. Maybe that would give you a good hint. I remember I call him the Batman because of you. Caesar. Yeah. Caesar, you probably know which actor I'm talking about too, right? I've said it before. Low and inside, almost clipped his leg. Full count, 3-2. He's got the serious look on his face. He looks angry right now. What is the Batman going to do on this 3-2 count? He hits it out into right field. It's going to be a double. It's going all the way to the wall. How do you like that? The Batman comes through. Man, he looked angry before he hit that ball right there. That was something. Rifles it into right field. Holy cow, that was great. Let's take a look at that. Look at that. Boom. Just right over the glove of a Rice. There we go. Like that. Nice hit. So we got ourselves a runner on second base with 1 out. And that brings up Jake Myers. Whoa, that one was way outside. Catcher had to dive to get it. The Astros commentator said, "Good take." I can't imagine anybody swinging at that one except Altuve. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. Another one, same, way outside. The catcher dives again to get to it. Jake Myers, 2 balls and no strikes. The opposite of the way Myers was batting last year. I called him 0-2. It's like when he comes to the plate, just go ahead and give him the 0-2 count because he had it so many times. And I called it the Myers count, but I decided to stop that. Give him some strength this year. Give him some love. Here's the 2-0 pitch. This one's hit straight to center field, pretty deep. Is Caratini going to be able to tag? Probably not. He does the fake tag, but he's not able to go. Out number 2. But Myers gave it a ride, but it was about 15 yards shy of the warning track in center field. Myers has been really putting the wood on the ball. If you guys saw the highlights from one of the recent games where he had the double down the line, I mean, he ripped that ball. He scorched it down the third baseline. All American League rookies right now, they're tied with Cam Smith, who's got 10 RBIs. And that is who's batting right now. Michael King about to deliver to Cam Smith, who had back-to-back home runs yesterday. 94 miles an hour swing and miss. Good old Cam Smith had such a great day yesterday. Back-to-back jacks, 4 RBIs. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from King. Smith takes that one way outside. Another one of those big sweepers from King that the catcher has to dive for. Man, I don't even want to know how much movement is on that sweeper. It is nuts. Counts even. Caratini on second. 2 outs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Another one outside, check swing, and they say he went. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That was pretty close. He calls timeout and steps out of the box. I'd like to see a replay on that check swing. It was pretty close. Now he's back in the box. All right, here comes a pitch from King. Little high, just a little. Barely missed. Good take. Ball 2. 95, maybe 2 inches, if that. Altuve standing on deck over there looking pretty serious. Hoping for his opportunity to come up and do something. Let's see what Cam Smith does here on the 2-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains 2-2. Will Bite, good evening to you, or I can say good morning. Right now it is about 8:41 in the morning. Good to see you again. 29 pitches. This will be the 30th for King. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Smith, and Cam Smith goes down swinging. Strikeout 2 for King. Yeah, and that's it for the Astros. They strand another runner on base in scoring position. We're going to go to the top of the 3rd. Still all tied up. Astros getting some hits, but leaving the runners on base. And not too big of a deal right now, but if they continue to do that, it could be a big deal later. We will see. 3 hits for the Astros, 1 hit for the Padres, and we go into the top of the 3rd. 0-0. 0-0. Got a dozen people listening in or following right now. Thank you so much for being here. How many likes do we have? We have 7. Pretty good. Getting closer to 10. Yesterday it took quite a while to get to 10 likes, and I think the video wound up at 16. There was something I wanted to do here during the break. What was it? What was it? What was I going to do during the break? I completely forgot. During this break, I wanted to do something for you guys. Oh yeah, I mentioned doing a poll. But I didn't even have time to think about what poll I wanted to do. How about this? Okay, I have an idea. Something I talked about earlier. Should Myers be moved up in the batting lineup? It's very simple. Yes and no. There we go. I was talking about this earlier in the live stream. If Myers is doing so well, why is he batting in the last 2 slots? Should he be moved up? I'd love to hear what you guys think. Wesneski's on the mound, and he's finished warming up just now. That coffee's starting to get to me. Actually, I'm going to heat up some more water. I want another cup of coffee. That last cup was just not good because it was a second cup of the pour over, a weak cup. Who's up to bat? Is that Tatis? It looks like it. Strike 1, 4-seam fastball. Yeah. No, that's Connor Joe. The hair fooled me from a distance. 0-1 is the count against Joe. Just a little outside and high for ball 1. I'm going to wait on water. I'm going to have to heat up some more water. I'll do that again in just a moment. But I just mainly wanted to stand up for a moment. 1-1 is the count against Joe. Here comes the pitch. Right in there. Beautiful curveball. Strike 2. Just took it right down the pipe. 78 miles an hour. Man, I used to launch those, and I'm not bragging. I was much better hitting home runs off curveballs than fastballs. In the dirt, 86 mile per hour sweeper. Ball 2. The count is even. Those, what we used to call the lollipop curve, you know, the really big curveballs that move a lot. They basically look like they're coming right at you, but then they come back in the strike zone. Fouled off by Joe. Count remains 2-2, but my brother used to throw those type of curveballs, so I got to see that curveball a lot in practice. He was 1 year older than me, so we played on the same team together in high school. And sometimes when we played in other leagues, we'd play together, but most of the time we were playing separately. And then in high school we played together. Just on the outside corner, beautiful pitch by Wesneski. He gets the strikeout. Joe goes down looking. He didn't like it too much, but that was a beautiful pitch. Let's take a look at that pitch if they're going to show no, right now they're showing some stats on the screen. Nope, they didn't show the replay. But that brings up Tatis. First pitch to him was a swing and a miss. 93 mile per hour pitch right on the inside corner. Good pitch. 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Tatis. That one's crushed hard to left field. That's gone. Wow. Very second pitch he just launched. Padres take the lead 1-0 on Tatis' home run off Wesneski. Second pitch, I mean, he was swinging for the fences the whole time. That first pitch, he was swinging for the fences. And that was a sweeper he launched. Didn't have enough movement on it, apparently. You guys can see it right here, the replay. Look at that. Not much movement on it, and he just crushed it. No doubter. It was gone. Not much you can say about that. Tatis is a good player. You got to be careful when you pitch to him, and that's the reason why right there. Especially Wesneski. He's given up several home runs. That's a 6th home run he's given up in less than 3 games. Arise is at the plate. He grounds the second pitch to Altuve, who fires over to Walker for the second out. 2 away. I need to update the score on the screen, though. Padres 1, Astros nothing here in the top of the 3rd. And that brings up Manny Machado. Yeah, I would say that that's the main thing that Wesneski is going to have to get a grasp on, is giving up those home runs. It's the main thing that's hurting him right now. Here's the first pitch to Machado. 40 pitches now for Wesneski, and that's in there. 95 mile per hour strike. Man, Tatis is on fire this year, isn't he? I mentioned yesterday, but I'll say it again today. Somebody said that he's like the main offense for the. He is all the offense essentially for the Padres. That's in there also. Strike two. 0-2 against Machado. That's how much Tatis means to the Padres team right now, that he's the central cog in their offense. Here's the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. 1-2. Now, obviously, I haven't been watching the Padres games, so I can only go on what I've heard. But that did come straight from a Padres commentator. He was having a little chat with an Astros commentator, and I listened in on it. That ball's inside by more than a foot. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs to Manny Machado. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Low. Man, that was way low, almost in the dirt. Full count. Machado comes back from an 0-2 to a 3-2. Here's the pitch. Bounced foul. Count remains 3-2. Wilbite says, I'd start tweaking the 4-9 hitters based on current production. Myers has always been an April guy. Play the hot hands because Diaz is not hitting where we expected him to, so he's not protecting Walker. I agree. Diaz and Walker are just not contributing right now. I mean, Diaz is improving, and so that's good. He's showing signs of life, but Walker is still struggling along. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Machado swings and hits that one to center field. Myers is over, and he's got it no problem. He catches it over the shoulder, and that's out number 3. So Wesneski does give up a solo home run and puts the Padres up 1-0. With 2 hits, they lead. Astros with 3 hits, but nothing to show for it yet. Let's see if they can answer in the bottom of the 3rd. We'll be back in just a moment with my personal hero, Jose Altuve, coming to the plate. He'll be leading off the Astros carnage here in the top, or rather the bottom of the 3rd. The carnage. Oh my God, the carnage. Let's see here. I'm going to hop up right quick and go put on a little more hot water so I can make myself a second cup of coffee, guys. Hang in there with me. Thank you so much. How many people are following along right now? 9. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Give me just a moment. Geaux Stros, I'm back. Sorry to scare you guys like that for being away from the keyboard for more than about 10 seconds. Had to get my Sado Tahiko coffee. Altuve's at the plate. Here comes the first pitch, and he goes after it. 93 on the inside corner. Fouls it into the dugout on the Padres side. Strike 1. Altuve did rip the ball his last at bat, but he went straight to the third baseman for a ground out. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's grounded again down the third base line, but just foul by a few feet. 0-2, but he's going to get another opportunity here. This coffee bag is from a coffee company called Saru Tahiko, a coffee shop that I fell in love with while I was living in Tokyo. They now sell their coffee in the store, so I'm able to enjoy it here. Here's the pitch. Little check swing. Did he go? And they say he did. The umpire behind the plate says, "You went, bro." He pointed at him. He pointed at him and said, "Yeah, you went." Unfortunately, Altuve strikes out. Take a look at this. Look at that. Just a little too much there. Oh, yeah, that's a little too far, my friend. It's okay. You'll do it the next at bat. Isaac Paredes comes to the plate. First pitch is just a little outside, ball one. That was close. The umpire surprisingly lays off there. I had to get myself a nice clean cup. Too many coffee grounds in the other one. Next pitch does catch that outside edge. King gets the strike on the slider. 1 ball, 1 strike against Paredes. There we go. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Way inside. Paredes fouls it off his foot and he goes hobbling off to the side there for a moment. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. My water is ready. I can actually grab it without having to unplug my microphone. This is such a long cord. This is kind of a lot of stuff to bring with me when I'm traveling. My laptop is like a gaming style laptop. It's very powerful but very heavy. The charger is also very heavy. My headphones and headset also very heavy, very large, very heavy. A spot is going to come out and check on Paredes. He's still walking around. They're going to come check on his foot because he fouled that one right off his foot. Apparently it's bothering him a little more. What do you want to guess that the trainer says? Just walk it off, man. Walk it off. I've seen some pretty funny stuff as a kid. I'm sure you guys have seen this before too, where kids are playing ball, right? It doesn't matter what sport it is. It could be any sport, but one of the kids gets hit in the face or something with the ball and they fall down to the ground and, you know, they're like, oh, you know, and it really is obviously like very, very painful. And the parents are like, walk it off, walk it off. We're so bad to kids sometimes. It's terrible. 1-2, here's the pitch. Way outside, and that evens the count. That sweeper low and outside, not competitive. 1 away, no runners on here in the bottom of the third. Where's the carnage, man? Paredes. I build this inning as carnage. Astros carnage. Here's the pitch from King. Another pitch low. Another sweeper misses the mark. 3 balls and 2 strikes against Paredes. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. Is that going to stay in play? Goes all the way over to the third base side. Oh, in the dugout. He just barely misses it. Machado reaches into the dugout. His teammates grab him to keep him from falling in, but he was close to getting that one. Check this out. Almost there. He missed it by just a couple of feet, if that. Three balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That's in there. Paredes takes it for strike 3. Well, the carnage is turning out to be a little opposite of what I was expecting. I was expecting the Astros to just start tacking on runs, but the carnage that they've showed me so far has been them getting slaughtered at the plate. Yordan Alvarez comes to the plate now. Here's the first pitch to Alvarez, outside by about a foot, ball 1. Fastball missing. 42nd pitch coming for King in just a moment, and here it is. Low and inside, ball 2. Pitching around the zone right now on Alvarez. I guess he's not wanting to give up that solo home run like they gave to Tatis. Let's see if Yordan's going to get his pitch right here. Here's the 2-0. Outside, ball 3. King is not pitching to Alvarez. He might not care about walking him right here. Just put him on base. Don't throw any bad pitches, and then face Pena instead. Here comes a 3-0. Way high, ball 4. So yeah, he wasn't even trying to pitch to Alvarez. Why not? I mean, you got 2 outs. No reason to be dangerous with him. Jordan can hit left-handers no problem. Right-handers no problem. Why pitch to him? Just throw it around the zone. If he swings and misses, great. But if not, no big deal. Just pitch to the next guy. 2 outs. Pena at the plate. Here's the first pitch to Pena. Little outside. That's 5 straight balls thrown by King. Oops, I already had the ball on the screen. I forgot to change it. That's all good. Pena did ground into a fielder's choice earlier, so he's 0 for 1 today. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Inside, could have been ball 2, but Pena swung at it and fouled it off. 1-1. Am I missing any chat comments? Yeah, nothing new right now. Jordan on first. 1-1's the count against Pena with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on that sweeper, man. Pena went after one of those last at bat. Dirty pitch. Looks like it's going to be in the zone, and it winds up about 1.5 feet outside the zone. Nuts. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Umpire calls timeout. Pena calls a time. Seven people following the game right now. Seems similar to yesterday so far. Maybe more will come in as the game progresses. We'll see. Next pitch just barely misses. Maybe 2 inches above the zone. Dangerous take by Pena there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Man, that was close. Here's the 2-2 pitch from King. Pena goes after it and fouls it down the third baseline. Bounces harmlessly. Several feet foul. The next pitch for King will be his 50th of the game. Kind of a high pitch count. He comes set. Here's the delivery. In the dirt, ball 3. Full count. With 2 outs, Jordan will have the opportunity to run on the next pitch. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the delivery to Jeremy Pena. Pena swings and hits it out to right field. Is that going to be playable? Tatis is over. He catches it right at the wall, right barely in foul territory. And that will be it. Astros strand another runner on first. They've been stranding runners every inning so far. The Astros have had runners on. They had runners on first and second. In the first inning, they had runners on second. Last inning, and this inning on first base. Nothing doing for the Astros in the bottom of the third. We're going to go into the top of the fourth. One to nothing Padres on the solo home run by Tatis Jr. Hayden Wesneski still on the mound for the Astros. He's up to 47 pitches right now through 3 complete innings. Inning number 1 was pretty shaky. Inning 2 was better, but inning 3 was really nice. Let's see what he can do in the 4th. He'll be facing Gavin Sheets, who's 1 for 1 today, followed by Oscar Gonzalez and Jose Iglesias. Let's go Houston Astros, says Astros Houston. Absolutely. Let's go. Let's go. How many likes away from 10? Just one like, one more like, and I'll have 10 likes on the video. That's always the first goal, is to get to 10 likes on my stream. And then beyond that, 20 is my next goal. If you haven't liked the video already, I'd appreciate you doing so right now. Like I said yesterday, it's just like a trigger that it kind of opens the gates. The way the algorithm on YouTube works is that once you get to a certain amount of likes, the video is shown to more people. You get to a certain amount of duration of view, then it's shown to more people. All of these things add up and more people come in, so I appreciate you helping me out there. Here's the first pitch to Gavin Sheets. It almost clips him way inside. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch, rather. A little low. Ball 2. Sheets' last at bat, he doubled. Here's the 50th pitch now for Wesneski. Fouls that one off. Strike 1. 2-1. My second cup of coffee here is almost ready. Well, my second good cup of coffee. My second one was a weak cup. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Right on the outside corner, beautiful four-seam fastball. That evens the count, 2-2. Right now we've got 100% on Myers being moved up with 5 votes. Foul ball. Caratini couldn't catch it. Little foul tip that could have been strike 3, but Sheets stays alive with the 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Wesneski. Sheets fouls that one off. 95 fastball just on the outside edge. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here's the delivery. Sheets swings at that one and he just loops it right into right field for a single. So he's 2 for 2 and 4 for 6 against the Astros so far in these first 2 games. Leadoff base runner. 2 hits off the sweeper. Oscar Gonzalez comes to the plate. He's over 1 so far today with a ground out. A double play ground out would be really nice. Here's the first pitch from Wesneski. And it is a ground ball over to Paredes, who fires to Pena at second, or Altuve rather. They get the force out, but no way to make the double play. But one away. One pitch to Gonzalez and he goes down. 2 ground outs for him today. Sheets remains on first. I'm sorry, Gonzalez is on first base. He didn't ground out. He grounded into a fielder's choice. Sheets was out at second. Iglesias comes to the plate. He's over 1 today. And here comes the toss. Wesneski lobs the rock. Iglesias fouls it off at the plate for strike 1. $287 subscribers. I'm about 13 away from 300. That'd be a nice little milestone, but the next major milestone is to get to 500. Then after that, of course, 1,000. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Iglesias. Ooh, right in there. Sweeper. Strike 2. 0-2 is the count. That looked like the pitch that Tatis launched on. Also the same pitch that Sheets was able to get a single on. Here comes the 0-2 delivery from Wisniewski. Iglesias goes after it. It was in the dirt and scooped up by Caratini, no problem. Out number 2 on that strikeout. Good pitch. Iglesias just couldn't resist. They're going to show a replay? Yes. Let's take a look at this dirty pitch here. It looks really bad, but it must have started off very nice. That's crazy. Tyler Wade comes to the plate. First pitch is in there, 93 miles an hour in the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Wade is 0 for 1 today, also with a ground out. Wisniewski looking for the sign. It looks like he's got what he wants. This will be his 60th pitch of the game. Here it comes. A little low. Ball 1. The count is even. One and one is the count. 2 outs, runner on first. Here's the pitch. That one's rocketed down the first base line way too early, though. Strike 2. Wade rips it. Foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see what Wisniewski can pull out of his bag o' tricks. Wade steps back into the batter's box. Wisniewski shakes off a few calls from Caratini. Now he's got what he wants. Here comes the pitch. Wade swings and he grounds it through the hole on the left side. An opposite field hit to the right of Paredes. Now we have 2 base runners on with 2 outs. First and second. Opposite field strike right through the hole there. Two singles for the Padres this inning. They are now up to 4 hits. Or is that 5 hits? I guess it is 4 hits. Elias Diaz comes to the plate. Here's the first pitch to him. Swing and a miss. Good sweeper. 85 low and outside. Right in the corner of that outer edge. 0-1 is the count. Wisniewski gets the signal from Caratini. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Ooh, he almost got him to bite on that sweeper. But he holds up. And it's low and away for ball 1. Count is even. Gonzalez on second, Wade on first. Diaz at the plate. Here's the pitch from Wisniewski. Bounced foul on that swing. Diaz fouls off the sweeper. Wisniewski gets ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. All we need is a ground out, a fly out, a strikeout. Got several options here. Just 1 out to get out of the inning. Runners on first and second. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Diaz. Got him on a sweeper strikeout. Beautiful pitch again. He couldn't resist. He throws it right towards the zone. And it just floated way outside and down. Diaz took a big swipe at it and was not able to connect. So that will be the end of this inning for the Padres. They threaten and leave a couple of guys on base. But Wisniewski, just like the first couple of innings, is able to get out of it without giving up any damage. Wisniewski has stayed true to his form, which is basically like getting some strikeouts, giving up some hits, but only giving up runs to the long ball. That's like the main thing that he's been doing, is giving up home runs here and there, solo shots. Man, if he could just eliminate that part of the game from his pitching, then he would be super deadly. Just the other day, he had 10 strikeouts. I believe that's his first 10 strikeout game, if I'm not mistaken. He's showing a lot of promise. Do we have 10 likes on the video yet? Let's see. Just 9. I need one more to get to 10. And I am halfway to my goal of 20 likes on the video. I'm very happy that the live stream is so much better than it was last year. Last year I used a template that essentially I created in Canva. Canva is a website that has a lot of creation tools for graphics and video and things like that. And if you go back and you look at my live streams from last year, you'll see the layout was different. I also didn't have a live scoreboard like I have this year. I paid for a program for a full year that allows me to do the scoreboard. And on one screen over here on my laptop, I can change the scoreboard at will, and then it will update live on the screen. Walker is at the plate. He takes that first pitch in there for strike one. 94-mile-per-hour sinker. 0-1. Here comes a pitch from King. And he hits that one way high into right field, but the first baseman is over, and he puts it away, no problem. He tosses it off the second baseman, and they play around with it a little bit, but that's out number one. Walker flies out. Walker continues his slump. His batting average goes down again. That might be under 150. Diaz comes to the plate. Speaking of a 150 batting average, here's the first pitch to Diaz. Yiner takes that one for a strike. It was a little high, but the umpire liked it. 0-1. Yeah, Christian Walker's batting 155, Diaz batting 153. Let's see if he can pass up Walker with a hit here. Not like that. A swing and a foul ball. 0-2 is the count. Come on, Yiner. You know, Yiner, despite not playing too many games season before last, was really shining. And then last year had a pretty good year. Not absolutely amazing, but he's a shadow of his former self right now. Yiner fouls that one off down the third baseline and stays alive, 0-2. You know, if you look at batters, some batters are really good at hitting the fastball, not so good at breaking pitches. Some are opposite, really good at breaking pitches, not so good at fastballs. But they got to learn how to adjust to hit all of those, you know. Yiner fouls it again. That one was ripped down the third baseline, but just a few feet foul. That could have been an extra base hit if it had stayed fair. But I feel like Yiner has shown trouble in two areas that I really wish that they could focus in on. One is the really moving oriented breaking pitches, and the other are the really fast fastballs. Lays off that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes on the outside. The sweeper missing the mark. You might say, well, everybody has trouble with those pitches. That's not true. That's not true. Some players are easily able to hit the fastball, and some are easily able to hit breaking pitches. Strike 3. Takes that one looking, and 2 up and 2 down. The Astros not doing anything suddenly at the plate right now. And that brings up Caratini, the Batman, who's 1 for 1 today. He had a double his last at bat. He's still got that angry look on his face. He hits that one deep to right center field, all the way back to the warning track, and caught by Joe. Man, he drove that one, but it was playable. He was gunning for a homer there, didn't quite get it. That's going to be it for the 4 innings, guys. We go into the top of the 5th with the Astros down by 1. Padres with 4 hits, Astros with 3, no errors, 1-0. At home at Daikin Park. Mostly a pitcher's duel so far. Wherever you are in the world, I'd like to hear where you are. I know that some of our listeners are in the Houston area, but I've also got some listeners from different places in the world. If you don't know, which you probably do if you've been listening to me, I'm in Japan. I've been living in Japan now for more than 5 years. Before that, I lived in China, actually, for almost 7 years. It's amazing when I think about it, because I never intended to live in China at all, much less for 7 years. But because of proximity to where I wanted to be, which is Japan, and the ability to work moderate hours and make really good pay, it was a good choice for me at the time. Because even teaching English in China, if you're good at what you do, you can make really good pay. You can actually find a job making about, close to $4,000 a month. You can easily find a teaching job in China making more than $3,000 a month. And you might think, well, that's not very much money. Well, I'm not finished. Not only that, that job can provide you with your own apartment. It can provide you with utilities paid and even insurance sometimes. You don't have to pay for those things. All you have to pay is income tax. You don't pay for your apartment or anything. You can find a school job like that. That's a big savings. But on top of that, expenses in China are not high. When you're making that much money, expenses are not high. So you can save a ton of money if you just think about this. If you just are slightly conservative with your money, you could easily save $25,000 in 1 year. And I'm not joking. You really could. You could put aside $2,000 a month. So it was easy to stay there and just travel to Japan, because Japan is so close. It's just like a 2-hour flight, if that. Connor Joe comes up to the plate and hits it out to right field, all the way out, just out of play, maybe about 6 feet out of the reach of Cam Smith, and that'll be strike 1. So that's why it was easy for me to live in China for so long. During that time, I traveled to Japan almost 15 times, traveling all over Japan. And then finally, I just felt it was time to leave. I asked my girlfriend to marry me and come with me to Japan. She and her family had unreasonable expectations for what they wanted in exchange for their daughter, like they were selling her as a commodity. So unfortunately, we broke up, and here I am. 0-1 is the count to Connor Joe. Here's the pitch, low and inside, ball 1. The sinker missing. I do watch baseball here in Japan sometimes. I like the Hiroshima Carp. If you guys know Suzuki Seiya, that's where he comes from. 93 in the bottom of the zone. Good pitch by Wesneski, taken for strike 2. 1-2 is the count. No outs, no runners on here in the top of the 5th. Let me double check my scoreboard and just make sure that it's got the correct information. Joe hits that one out to right field. Cam Smith is back close to the warning track, puts it away for out number 1. No problem. Yep, the scoreboard is right. Top of the 5th, 1 out. Who's up to bat now? Fernando Tatis. Fernando Tatis. He had a home run his last at bat, struck out his first at bat. He's 1 for 2. Here's the first pitch from Wesneski. Woo, man, that was close. Could have been called a ball. It was low and away on that sweeper, but the umpire really liked it. Strike 1. Let's see if Tatis is going to be swinging for the fences again like he was last at bat. Another sweeper, low and away. Check swing. The umpire says he did not go on the petition. 1-1. I believe it was the sweeper that he hit out of the park. 1-1, 1 out. Here's a pitch to Tatis. Fouled at the plate. Another sweeper low in the zone. Strike 2. Nine people following along. One more like to get to 10, guys. If you haven't liked the video, I'd appreciate it. Just one little like to get to 10, and then the next goal is 20. Let's do it. Come on. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Just a little too far inside on that sinker, ball 2. The count is even to Tatis. Wisniewski trying to get this important out. Here's the pitch. Ground ball through the hole. Tatis is going to get himself another hit. And a base runner on first. He curves around first base, but quickly has to get back as they bring the ball in. Man, that was right through the hole. You can take a look at the replay here. Just right through Paredes and Pena. One on with 1 out for Arise. Here's the pitch. Right in there. He takes it. He didn't even look like he was going to try to swing. Strike 1, 92 miles an hour. 1 walk today for Arise. Nope. I thought the pitch was about to come, but Wisniewski went to first base. Tatis is back. No problem. Oh, and 1 is the count, with 1 out and Tatis on first. Here comes the pitch, and Tatis is off to second. It's a hit and run. They can only go to first base. Altuve throws it over to Walker for the out. Tatis advances to second on the hit and run. But that's 2 outs. Arise does advance a runner into scoring position, but Machado will have 2 outs to work with. Wow. Altuve is the second placed hit leader among active players. He's only behind Freddie Freeman, and not too far. He's only 20 hits behind him. Manny Machado is also in the top 5. Pretty interesting. Altuve and Tatis laughing, having a good time at second base there. It's funny seeing those guys together. Tatis is a big guy. Altuve obviously is a mini-me type guy. He's very small. But man, he's got so much power. Can you imagine what a guy like Altuve would do if he were in a body that was like Aaron Judge? Can you imagine? It's unbelievable the power that Altuve has and the ability in such a small body. Machado's at the plate. Here's the first pitch. Foul ball at the plate. 92 below the zone, and he went after it, but it seemed that he was committed to swinging at that one no matter what. He fouled it off, but that was about it. 0 for 2 today. '79th pitch on the way from Wisniewski. Tatis is going for 3. Caratini does not throw. There's nobody over there. Caratini was going to throw, but Paredes was not there. There was nobody to throw to. What in the world was going on there? I don't really get that. You see this? If you can see the replay, Paredes wasn't even over there. Nothing doing. Man. So runner on third, swing and a miss, and that's strike 2 on Machado. Good read by Tatis because Paredes was just nowhere near third base, and Caratini clearly wanted to throw over there, but You can't throw when there's no one covering the base. Wesneski steps off the rubber for a moment. Resets the clock. 80 pitches now. 1-2 count with 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Machado. That's hit to right field, pretty deep. Cam Smith is back to the warning track, and he jumps at the wall, but it's going to be off the wall. That's going to score Tatis. Probably be a double for Machado, and it is. Machado rolls into second base, and the Padres are now up 2-0. Cam Smith ran all the way out there, and he tried to leap at the wall to get it, but there was just no chance. He just stayed up in the zone too much, just out of the reach of Smith. He just couldn't get there in time. Bounces off the wall, and yeah, we know how it goes from there. 9 doubles for Machado so far this year. The pitching coach is going to go out and have a little chit-chat with Wesneski. But there's nobody warming up in the Astros bullpen right now, so they feel confident to get him through this inning. Astros only down by 2. I mean, you can win a game with 1 run, but say what you will about the Astros not scoring runs or not hitting when they really need to. Say what you will. But it doesn't change the fact that the Astros have enough talent in the lineup to score 7, 8, 9 runs in just 1 inning. They have the ability. They have the power. They have the talent. The only question is whether they're going to do that or not. And since they're only down by 2 runs, I don't really feel worried about their ability to get back in this game. They can do it. Gavin Sheets is at the plate with 2 outs, runner on second. Here's the first pitch to him. In the dirt. Good stop by Caratini. Ball 1. The changeup just coming in way too low. Good morning, says Patrick. Thank you very much, Patrick. Good morning to you, or good evening, or good morning. Did you say you were in Asia too, if I remember correctly, or are you over in the U.S.? Here's a 1-0 pitch. In there, 78 miles an hour. Good curveball, and that evens the count, 1-1. Patrick, it is good to see you back. That's right, Philippines. Okay, yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Here's the next pitch. Woo, 86. Sheets didn't quite like that one. I can't blame him too much. It was a little below the zone, but kind of close. You can see here just a little bit at the bottom, but the umpire liked it. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Wesneski comes off the mound, fakes a throw to second. Machado walks back to second. A little break. Now we have Taylor Scott warming up in the bullpen for the Astros. He may be coming in the next inning. Hopefully Wesneski gets out of this right here. This is hit up to center field. Myers is over, makes a catch, and that'll be out number 3. So a little fly ball to center field. Myers puts it away. And Wesneski gets out of the inning, giving up just 1 run. Astros down 2-0 to the Padres. Padres coming through with an extra insurance run there. But we go into the bottom of the 5th. Astros have a little bit of work to do on the hitting end. We'll see if Michael King is still in the game. I would think that he would be. He's only up to 60 pitches after 4 innings. I think that he can probably continue. That's my guess. He's got a shutout going. He's given up 3 hits, and the Astros have had opportunities, but he has managed to steer clear of any earned runs. I would imagine that he's going to stay in the game. He's going to be facing Jake Myers, the recently hot Jake Myers, and then Cam Smith, who's also been doing pretty well recently, and then my hero, Jose Altuve. Let's go back to the live chat right quick. Chris says realistically every team has the talent, but most teams don't rally when they need to. Yeah, it's kind of the nature of baseball. Baseball is such a strange game because sometimes they'll just score a ton of runs when they don't need it, you know. You'll see a game that's like 21 to 2 or 21 to 1 or something really ridiculous like that. Or you'll see that your team is winning. Let's say maybe your team is winning 6 to 3, and then in like the 8th inning they score 8 more runs, where it's completely unnecessary. And then there'll be other times when they're losing just 1 to nothing. Maybe the other team scores in the first inning, and then for the rest of the game that team doesn't score anything. But your team can't even muster 1 run on the board just to tie the game. It's such a strange game. It can just go one way or the other so fast. Jake Myers, so far this season, he's just really coming on. He's at the plate right now, facing King, who's still on the mound. Here's the pitch. A little outside, ball 1, good take by Myers. That one was about 3 inches outside. He flew out his last at bat, a drive to deep center field, batting .302 for the season right now, and he hits this one up the middle, but right towards the second baseman, who scoops it on the bounce. Man, another hard hit ball by Myers, but right at Wade, who snatched it up and tossed over to first. 1 away. Cam Smith comes to the plate. Back-to-back home runs for Smith yesterday. Drove in four with those, a 3-run shot and a solo shot. 10 RBIs so far this year. He's tied with all other rookies so far for RBIs. That one's up and in. Almost hit his hands. Ball 1. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. That one's on the outside edge for strike 1. An 83-mile-per-hour slider. Good pitch. Evening the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Smith takes that one. Man, that was on the outside edge. That was such a good pitch. King has got to be just a little bothered by that. Should have been a strike. But ball 2. 2-1. Here comes the pitch. Smith goes after that one and fouls it off down the first base line and into the crowd. Evens the count, 2-2. King rubs the new ball up a little bit. Steps back up on the rubber. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt and outside. The count is now full. 8 people watching right now. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you following. You did help me get over that first mark of 12 likes. Right now or 10 likes. Now I have 12. Next pitch. Foul tip. Caught by the catcher. Out number 2, and that's a strikeout for Cam Smith. King picks up another strikeout. 0-2 for the day so far is Cam Smith. And that brings up my man, Jose Altuve. Altuve is 0 for 2 today. But he's also Altuve. He can do anything at any time. He's waggling the bat. He goes after that first pitch. It's not a bad pitch to go after. 83 on the inside corner. But fouls it away for strike 1. 69 pitches, the 70th, in just a moment from Michael King. Come on, Jose. Here's the pitch. He takes that one way outside. Good take. Count is even, 1-1. My next goal is to get to 20 likes. I got 8 more, guys. 8 more likes on the video, and I'll have 20. That's my goal. Altuve hits that one hard, skies it up way high, but luckily it floats. Oh, no, the camera went crazy. Okay, I see what happened. Okay, no wonder. Let's see if they show that again. That one was going way outside into foul territory and into the crowd. And then suddenly it came back in and they caught it around the pitcher's mound. But what happened was it went so high it hit the roof and then came back into play. Apparently it hit several girders. It bounced around up there like a pinball and came back down, and they caught it around the pitching mound, but they said, no, that's not an out. So, strike two. 1-2 is the count against Altuve. Here's the pitch. Little outside. Good take by Altuve. That one just missed by a couple of inches. Not a bad pitch by King. Let's see if they are they going to show that again? No, that was the pitch. That was the last pitch, just outside. Here's the 2-2. Ah, he got him on the sweeper. Altuve goes down on the sweeper. Strike three. The Astros come away with nothing in the bottom of the fifth. We're going to go to the top of the sixth inning. Padres up 2-0 over the Astros. Astros haven't done anything the past couple of innings with the bat. Just 3 hits. The Astros started off looking pretty good, getting hits, getting runners on base the first couple of innings, and after that, they've just been quiet. Michael King has 73 pitches after 5 innings. 5 innings of work. That's not bad. That's less than 15 pitches per inning. Is that what is that? 26, 52, 65. Yeah, right around between 13 and 14 pitches average per inning. That's not amazing, but that's good. But the key stat here is that he hasn't given up any runs. He's got a shutout going against the Astros through 5 innings. And Wesneski has given up 2 runs. Not bad. But the Astros bats have just been completely calm. After the first couple of innings, they just haven't done anything, really. 6 hits for the Padres, 3 hits for the Astros. Wesneski is up to 85 pitches, and he is facing Oscar Gonzalez in just a moment. "13 likes on the video. We are 1 step closer to 20 likes. Looking forward to getting to that 20 mark today. I didn't get it yesterday. I got to 16. We're 3 away from that, guys. So thank you very much for liking the video if you can. Taylor Scott is now on the mound. Wesneski is out. So it's time to change that picture on the screen. Taylor Scott. Here's the first pitch to Gonzalez. One ball, no strikes to Gonzalez. He's over 2. Swing and a miss. 91 mile per hour fastball right in the top of the zone. 1-1 is the count. One ball, one strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another high fastball, but this one inside. Gonzalez can't get around on it. Taylor Scott's name on the screen is a little off center. I'm going to move that over. There we go. Wesneski's name was so long it appeared differently on the screen. All right, here comes the 1-2 pitch from Scott. He's come set, and here's the delivery. Ooh, just a little too high. Another fastball up and out this time. But Gonzalez takes that one for ball 2. It is a very overcast morning today. It's supposed to be rainy, so I guess that's why. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. A little scribbler to third, or dribbler, you could say. Tossed over to first by Paredes. Good play by Paredes. He scoops it up, fires over to first to Walker. To the Walker. He is the Walker. When he does get on base, it usually is a walk. So I guess you could say he is the Walker. One away. And that brings up Jose Iglesias. His first time facing Scott here. Here's the pitch. Iglesias shows bunt and pulls back, but it doesn't matter. Called strike on the inside corner. I'm really liking Paredes over on third. I mean, he did make a boo-boo earlier whenever Caratini wanted to throw over there, and it wound up costing them a run. Way high and inside. Taylor Scott almost takes off Iglesias' head on that pitch. He runs out of the box, and now he strolls back. One and one. Here comes the pitch from Taylor Scott. Swing and a miss on that sweeper. Oh, that was a slider? I thought that was a sweeper. I don't think I've seen a slider move like that. But the result is the same. Swing and a miss, strike two. 1-2 is the count. Way high. Man, that was a foot and a half out of the zone. I think he's probably got Iglesias a little shy right now, a little gun shy, because that's another high and inside pitch. He's like trying to take his head off. 2-2 is the count. Here's the pitch. Just inside. Full count. Taylor misses with the slider. Mel Wood, thank you for joining. I'll get to your comment in just a second. The next pitch from Scott is on the way. Here's the 3-2. Strike three on that upper outside corner. Beautiful pitch. You can't take a pitch like that. Good call by the umpire. It was right in there. Scott gets the strikeout. 2 up and 2 down. Let's take a look at that pitch. Look how beautiful this was. Just right in there. Doesn't get any better than that. Just perfectly placed. Beautiful. All right. Wade bunts it to the first base side. Walker picks it up and steps on the back. The very first pitch, Tyler Wade just bunts it right down the first baseline, but he bunted it so hard, it went all the way out to Christian Walker, who just scoops it up and steps on the bag. That was the most ridiculous bunt I've seen in a long time. It was like I just want to get out. Here you go. Just get me out. We go into the bottom of the 6th. Taylor Scott comes out and has a great first inning of work in the top of the 6th. 3 up and 3 down. The Astros will come to the plate in just a moment. Let's see what they can do here in the bottom of the 6th. King should still be on the mound, and he'll be facing Paredes, Alvarez, and Pena. Now let's get back to the comments here. Mel Wood says, tuning in from Conroe, Texas, just north of Houston. Yeah, I'm familiar with Conroe. It's interesting because when I was a baby, I was actually born in Shreveport, Louisiana. And when I was a baby, my parents moved us to Houston because my dad was a welder, and he got a job at Armco Steel. And my mom's family, they're all from basically that area, I guess you could say. Her main family, they're all from Houston. So it's my mom's side of the family that created my connection to Houston. My dad's family, they're all basically from Louisiana. So I have 2 sides to my family, Louisiana and Texas. If I could go back and change one thing in my life, it would have been to move to my grandmother's house and stay with her in Houston. I really wish I'd been able to stay in Houston. It would have been so much better for my life, especially if I'd been able to stay with my grandmother. It would have been better for me to just live with my grandmother alone, just me and her, rather than to be with my family, my brother, my sister, my mom, and my dad. I won't get into all that. I love my family, but it was just when you're a kid, you don't know any better. You don't know what you can do, and you're afraid, and you don't know what's going on. You don't understand what's good or what's bad or what's normal and what's not. First pitch to Paredes is way outside for a ball. But long story short, I spent basically the first 7 years of my life growing up in Houston. That's why I became such a big Houston fan. Paredes launches that one way up high and out into left field, but that's going to soar into the crowd. Strike one. The count is 1-1. But I do wish I'd been able to grow up in Houston, stay there, be close to my friends, had a better schooling experience. Everything in my life would have been so much better and more stable. That's the main thing. It would have been much more stable. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Paredes. Woo, that could have been a strike. Man, disappointing for King and the catcher there, but good for Paredes. Ball two. That was an 83-mile-per-hour changeup right in that outside edge, but Paredes gets lucky. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the next pitch from King. Paredes skies that one way high, way up there and way out into the crowd, just now coming down. Holy cow, strike 2. He is crushing the ball right now, but they are going to the moon and all the way out in the crowd. Man, put one of those in the Crawford boxes, Paredes. Put it off that wall out there, the Oxy sign or something. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Good take. Almost 3 inches above the zone. Ball 3. The count is full. E-socked that ball, man. Paredes e-socked that ball out of the stadium. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled again, but to the right side. He gets around on it late, and it floats into the crowd by a good 30 or 40 feet. Man, that ball bounced around to a bunch of different people. Some guy just randomly got it. He's celebrating. Yeah. Man, that bounced around like a pinball, kind of like that ball that Altuve hit into the rafters. (3-2). Here's the 80th pitch from King. Paredes trying to do something. He socked that ball, man, and he takes ball 4. He's not going to e-sock it, but he's going to get his walk. We have a leadoff base runner with no outs. I guess that's kind of redundant, right? A leadoff base runner with no outs. There's that pitch, just low. That was a good take. Low and inside. Yordan Alvarez comes to the plate with a runner on, guys. Here's the pitch from King. Just inside, but strike 1, 88 miles an hour. This is a situation where King must pitch to Alvarez. He's got a guy on base. He can't just pitch around him. 0-1. 1 for 1 today with a double and a walk. Here's the pitch. Way high. Ball 1. King is moving much faster against Alvarez than he was against Paredes. He was kind of taking his time, and now he's moving quickly. I guess he's trying to throw Alvarez off balance and show him something a little different. But the count is even with a runner on first. There's the 1-1 pitch from King. Alvarez hits that one pretty hard out to right field, but that's going to be playable. Right center. He's under it and he's got it. Tatis puts it away for out number 1. Alvarez got way too far underneath it. That could have very easily been gone. He just golfed it too high. Man. If he had straightened that out, that would have been an upper decker for sure, because it was way up there. Holy cow, it was up there. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate. Second opportunity for the Astros to tie this game. Pena with one swing of the bat. Let's see if he can do it. Here comes the pitch from King. Pena fouls it back. Strike 1. Anything going on in the chat here? Not too much. Not too much. Nothing new. 13 likes. I just need 7 more to get to 20. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Pena. Little check swing. Did he go? They say he did not. Woo, that was close. Ball 1. Excuse me. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pena's 0 for 2 today with a foul out. I think he had a fielder's choice other than that. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Too far inside. 92 miles an hour on that sinker. 2-1. Crowd sounds a little livelier than before. Maybe they feel that something's coming. We'll see. Here's a pitch. Pena fouls that one off. 93 low and inside on the sinker. And that evens the count 2-2. Padres now have their ERA. They now have their bullpen going. Timeout called by Pena. He's going to rewrap his gloves and take a little break. Jeremiah Estrada is going in the bullpen for the Padres right now. They mentioned that their ERA is excellent. Maybe the Astros can change that. The count is even to Pena. 1 out, one runner on first. If I can talk. 2-2 is the count. Here's the pitch. That one's hit high on the infield. Several people out to get it. Somehow the catcher grabs it. That was a ridiculous play there. The pitcher and the catcher trying to decide who will take it, and the catcher at the last moment sticks his glove out and barely manages to get it, but that puts Pena away. Out number 2. Pretty silly defensive play. A little amateur, but they managed to get the out. Christian Walker comes to the plate. 0 for 2. Got to do something, man. Walker, wake that bat up. Fire bat. Here's the first pitch from King. Outside, ball 1. That is one thing that Walker has shown this season, is the ability to take pitches. But it hasn't turned into him just getting good swings and hits. Not yet. Uh-oh, it's hit out to left field. It's going to the Crawford boxes. It's gone! Christian Walker with a 2-run shot on a 1-0 count. That ties the game up, 2-2. Finally, Christian Walker comes through for the Astros just when we need it. Ties this game up and tags King. After nearly 6 innings of shutout baseball and just 3 hits, King gets tagged for a line drive shot by Christian Walker into the Crawford boxes, and the Astros have tied this game up 2-2. Finally. I've been waiting for that so long. It feels like I've been holding my breath on some of these guys, especially Christian Walker. Walker is the main guy. Like I said before, Walker is one of those guys I think about when I say that there's so much potential in this lineup. These guys have the power and the ability to do what Walker just did. They have the ability to do that, and they just haven't done it. Finally, he comes through here in the bottom of the 6th. And that's going to be it for Michael King. He is being taken out of the game. He will not face the next batter. Yainer Diaz is due up. He's 0 for 2 today, but he will not face King. How do you like that, guys? How do you like that? Let's see who's coming up. It looks like the Padres are going to have, what was his name again? I want to say it was Jeremiah, but maybe it wasn't Jeremiah. What's his name? I can't remember. But whenever he comes in, I'll get him updated on the screen. Estrada. Oh, it is Jeremiah. I was right. Jeremiah Estrada. I did remember correctly. Okay. My memory's not so bad. Jeremiah Estrada is going to be in the game for the Padres in just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and update that on the screen. Jeremiah Estrada. There we go. There you are, Mr. Estrada. Okay. And let me get his name centered. His name is kind of long, so try to get it all in there, fit it in there. Okay. Yeah, we're good to go now. All right. Estrada's on the mound. It looks like he's ready to go. And he's facing Yainer Diaz with no runners on and 2 outs. Here's the first pitch from Estrada. 10 innings pitched, 10.1 for Estrada so far. Yainer goes after the first pitch, hits it to the second baseman. He lobs it over to first, and 1 pitch, 1 out, or rather 3 outs now. That's it for the Astros in this inning, but Christian Walker does get the big hit. You can see that home run right here. Just a straight shot to the Crawford boxes in left field. Boom, just like that. 2-2. Good stuff right there. Good stuff. We are now in the top of the 7th. Taylor Scott pitched last inning. He had 12 total pitches. It's unclear whether or not he will still be in the game for this inning. I would like to see that changed. He had a good inning last inning, but I would like to see somebody else in this inning. Perhaps Brian King. Brian King this inning, followed by Abreu and Hader. Are they going to do that? They pitched yesterday. Those 3 guys pitched yesterday. I wonder if they'll pitch them today. The last time they left Taylor Scott in there for 2 innings, he had a good first inning, and then he kind of fell apart a little bit in the second inning. Let's see if they learn from that and give another pitcher a chance. Let me take a look at the live stream and see what you guys are saying right now. Whoa, that's the Walker we need to get more of. Will Bite, you're absolutely 100% correct. He has the ability to do it. He definitely has the ability to do it, and he just showed that. It's just, it can be frustrating to see him struggle. I got 14 likes on the video, just 16, just 6 away, rather, from getting my target of 20 likes on the live stream. I appreciate you guys clicking the like button, if you will. Help me get up to 20. It looks like Taylor Scott is still going to be on the mound for the Astros. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully he can keep it locked down. He's facing Elias Diaz. Here's the first pitch. Grounded back to Scott on the very first pitch. He throws it to first. No problem. Good play by Scott. 1 pitch, 1 out. Excellent. No problem there. Just a very fundamental play. Good pitch. Tapper back to the pitcher. Perfect throw to first. Taylor Scott throws to first base about 1,000 times better than Framber Valdez does. Oh man, I'm always worried whenever I see a tapper back to the mound and Valdez is the one taking it. You never know what his fielding and his throws are going to be like. I expect that I wouldn't be surprised to see Valdez like stumble, twist his ankle, fall down, and injure himself when he's trying to field a tapper back to the mound. When he's not just pitching, he's so out of his element. Terso Ornelas comes to the plate. He's pinch hitting for Joe in the ninth slot. Here's the first pitch from Scott. Just a little outside on that slider, ball 1. Ornelas, they got any stats for him this year? No, he apparently hasn't had a bat yet, and he swings at that one and misses on the outside edge. 92 mile per hour fastball, and that evens the count 1-1. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. And this one's hit out to left field. Jordan comes in, and he's able to play it on the run. And he tosses it to Jeremy Pena. Out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. 16 pitches now for Scott through 5 batters. Top of the order now for the Padres. 2 for 3. Tatis Jr. He's got a home run, stolen base, a single. He's scored the only 2 runs for Padres. That first pitch low and away, but called a strike. Man, that was a nice pitch. Umpire got a good eye on that one because it wasn't framed very well by Caratini, but it's in there. 0-1. Here's the pitch. Tatis swings and misses. Good pitch from Scott. 86-mile-per-hour splitter, low and away. Man, that was a dirty pitch. Take a look at this. 0-2. The crowd is getting into it. Here's the delivery. Little check swing. Did he go? It's in the dirt. He holds back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, no runners on. 1-2 pitch coming up in just a moment from Scott to Tatis. 20th pitch for Scott. Just low and inside on that splitter. Tatis doesn't bite. Counts even, 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. This one's grounded to Pena. Should be no problem. He fires the first. Good play. Tatis grounds out to Pena. And man, what a job by Taylor Scott. 6 up and 6 down over 2 innings. Man. Hats off to you, my friend. Hats off to you. He got a little grief recently because he was given the opportunity to pitch 2 innings. He got through 1, and he gave up some runs in that next inning. And people were saying, hey, you know, you got your guy through 1 inning. You should have went with somebody else. You should have gone with somebody else. They did it again this time, but it paid off. Espada makes the right call? I guess so. Taylor Scott, 2 innings, 6 up and 6 down. The Astros and the Padres are tied up 2-2. 6 hits for the Padres, 4 for the Astros. No errors. 10 people following along right now. The game is knotted up. It's a close one. It's been a pitcher's duel mostly. Yesterday it was more about which team is going to give up more hits and more runs. They were hitting the ball like crazy. Today it's opposite. Not too many hits. About half as many so far. And the runs are down too. Low scoring affair. Bottom of the 7th. Who's due up for the Astros? The Batman, Victor Caratini. Victor Caratini. 1 for 2 today with a double. His OPS is just shy of 700. He'll be followed by Mr. Baseball, Jake Myers, and then our rookie who is starting to catch on fire, Cam Smith. Here's the first pitch to the Batman from Estrada, who's still in the game for the Padres. Just a little low. Ball 1. That was a good take. We're knotted up. Let's see what we can do here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch to Caratini. He takes that one low also. Ball 2. 2 good takes by Caratini. 83-mile-an-hour splitter missing the mark. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. A little high and outside. 98 miles an hour on that fastball. 3 balls and no strikes to Caratini. Estrada's right-handed pitcher. Caratini batting left-handed, so it looks like Estrada's trying to be careful with him, but he's going to have to pitch to him here on a 3-0 count. Here it comes. Just barely clips the zone. Caratini thought he might have a walk there. It was close, but it did catch the corner. Just barely. 3 balls, 1 strike. Estrada looked like he was pitching around him like they would pitch around Jordan. 3-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Caratini takes that one way high for a walk. We have a leadoff runner again here in the bottom of the 7th. Good take by Caratini. That pitch was about a foot above the zone. And that'll bring up Jake Meyers. Jake Meyers, I'm calling it right now. Jake Meyers is about to get himself a nice big hit. A nice big wallop. It looks like they're expecting him to bunt, but we will see. Here's the next pitch from Estrada, the first one of Meyers. Meyers is not showing bunt. That pitch is outside. 98 miles an hour. Good take by Meyers. About 4 inches outside the zone. I'm glad that they're letting Meyers swing. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Long pause by Estrada. There's the delivery right in the zone. 89 mile per hour pitch. And that evens the count, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 delivery from Estrada. No, Estrada comes off the mound, fakes a throw to first. Caratini not really a threat to be stealing. He's not the Flash, he's the Batman. He doesn't really have any tools on his belt to get him to second base on a stolen base. Here's the pitch to Meyers. Half swing by Meyers, a 99 mile per hour fastball, way up high, maybe a good 5 or 6 inches out of the zone. Meyers couldn't check his swing in time. Meyers takes a timeout, steps out of the box, takes a swing. Now he's back in. The crowd is pretty loud right now. They're wanting something to happen. Here's the 10th pitch from Estrada. Meyers goes to right field opposite, but it's going to be right to Tatis Jr. He fires over to first, but Caratini's back. No double play. Man, he gave that a ride. A nice, strongly hit ball, but once again, right at a player, right at Tatis. He didn't even have to move to get it. Luckily, Caratini was not too far off the bag. He was able to dance back, no problem. So we still have a runner on first with 1 out, and that brings up Cam Smith. 2 strikeouts today. Let's see if he can shake that off and do something here. Here's the first pitch from Estrada. He takes that one for strike 1. Slider on the inside corner. Looked like a good pitch to pull. Sometimes it just looks like they're not interested in swinging at all. They've already determined that they're not going to swing on that first pitch. 0-1 is the count. Here's the delivery. High fastball, 98 miles an hour, swing and a miss, strike 2. I would say the first 2 pitches, this is like how you don't start your at-bat. You don't just sit there and deliberately take the first pitch and then go after the second pitch out of the zone. Now you're in a hole, 0-2. Come on, Smith, come back. Put the bat on the ball. Here's the pitch. And he does, and he gets a single up the middle. Meyers, no, I'm sorry, not Meyers. Caratini. He's not able to get to third. He has to stop. But that's a single. That's a single by Cam Smith. He's 1 for 3 today. Finally puts the bat on the ball like I was telling him to do. That high fastball. The one that he swung on and missed just before that, he was able to finally put the bat on it and go opposite field. Now we have runners on first and second, with Jose Altuve coming to the plate, and that's gonna draw a big meeting on the mound with the coach and the infield, because they've got a dangerous batter coming to the plate. We got ourselves another Taqueras Arandas commercial with Jeremy Pena. 1 away. Runners on first and second. Altuve is 0 for 3 today, but he has been putting the bat on the ball. Even though he has a couple of strikeouts, he has been making contact. The crowd is on their feet cheering right now. This season, Jose Altuve is batting .375, from the 7th inning on. Let's move that up to 400. First pitch should be on the way in just a moment. And here it comes. Altuve hits it to center field. It's going to be right to the center fielder. He's playing it. No tag by Caratini. So the very first pitch Altuve goes after and flies out to center field. Man, a nice solid strike. But once again, Astros are just hitting it right to the Padres players. They're not even having to move so much. That brings up Isaac the ball, Paredes. He walked his last at bat. This is another guy who has more than enough power to put the ball into the Crawford boxes. He's actually batting .357 with runners in scoring position, including a home run. Here's the first pitch to Paredes. He socked that ball. High and outside, ball one. Good take. 98 mile per hour on that pitch. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. 1 ball, no strikes to Paredes. Here's the pitch from Estrada. Fouled away. 98 on that fastball, right in the zone. The count is even, 1-1. Paredes is a strong pull hitter, and he is custom made for this park. Daikin Park with the short fence in left field. He very easily could give the Astros a 3-run lead with one swing of the bat. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Ooh, he takes that one right in there. 89 mile per hour slider for strike 2. Ooh, man. That was a beauty. Yordan Alvarez, Cam Smith, and Isaac Paredes all have 10 RBIs. They are the team leaders right now. Crowd's cheering again. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Estrada. Way high, 99 miles an hour. And that evens the count, 2-2. Good take. 10 people following along. Thank you for being here. Make sure you like the video. I'm trying to get to 20 likes. I'm at 14 right now. Just 6 more to go. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Paredes. Fouled away. A little low and outside, but close enough to be swinging at. That could have been a strike. Paredes protecting the strike zone right now. Count remains 2-2. Yordan Alvarez is on deck, guys. Is he going to get an opportunity to come up? Is Paredes going to sock the ball? Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one's fouled back. Count remains 2-2. Man, this is tense. I don't know why I'm feeling such tension right now. I feel like the game could just explode right here. The crowd could go crazy with a big hit from Paredes. The 20th pitch of the game so far for Estrada. This is his, how many batters has he faced? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? About 5. This is his 6th batter. Here's the pitch to Paredes. Ball 3. Way high. 99 miles an hour on that fastball. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Here's the full count pitch. Deep breath by Estrada. This is hit to center field. Is it going to drop? It's going to drop! It's going to drop! The Astros take the lead. Caratini scores easily. Are they going to get another run? No. The runner has to stop at third. But Paredes comes through, guys. He comes through. And the Astros are up 3-2. Yordan Alvarez is going to come to the plate with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Big hit. Astros take the lead for the first time in the game. Perfect hit. Couldn't have been any more perfect. Padres just couldn't get to it. They tried to get out there. Just a perfect flare. Not A hard hit ball, just a perfectly placed ball. The opposite of what the Astros have been doing so far. Just Astros are hitting the ball hard and directly to Padres defenders. But this ball was hit lightly and just where there was nobody that was able to get to it. What an at-bat by Paredes, driving the count up full and then working that single. Now there's another massive meeting on the mound because guess what? Yordan Alvarez is at the plate. This could blow the game open right here for the Astros. Yordan Alvarez is 1 for 2. He's got a double today. They pitched around him. His last at bat. They're going to keep Estrada in the game. Big at bat right now for Yordan and the Astros. Here comes the first pitch from Estrada. Crowd's really excited right now. Estrada steps off the mound, fakes a throw over to first. The crowd boos. Come on. No need to boo that. Here is the delivery finally from Estrada. Big swing by Alvarez and he misses it. An 85-mile-per-hour splitter. Strike one. Oh man, I'm starting to get a cramp in my leg. I need to straighten that out. Yep. All right. 0-1 is the count to Alvarez. Here's the pitch. Way high, 98 miles an hour, ball one. The next pitch will be the 25th for Estrada. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch to Alvarez. He takes that right down the middle, 98 miles an hour. Dead center of the plate. Strike two. Man, what a pitch to take. Come on, Alvarez. We need some insurance runs here. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This is grounded foul. He does get around on that one, but that was an 86-mile-per-hour splitter. A little too early. The count remains 1-2. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Yordan Alvarez. Here's the delivery. Long pause by Estrada. That's hit over to left field, and that's going to be easily playable by the left fielder and out number 3. So Yordan doesn't come through with a hit. A little soft liner out to left field, and that's going to be it for the 7th inning. We're going into the top of the 8th, guys. The Astros do come away with 1, despite stranding a couple of runners. They manage enough to take the lead. 3-2, Astros. 6 hits now for each team. No errors. Man. Lots of tension in just 1 run. So after 5 innings of shutout ball, the Astros tag king for 2 runs with a home run from Christian Walker in the 6th. And then an RBI bloop single by Paredes in the 7th. So we get a little bit of production from our guys who have been kind of slumping a little bit. And that's what we need. Whenever our main guys like Altuve and Yordan, when they're not producing, we need those other guys to step up, and they have the ability to do it. Taylor Scott pitched 2 innings for the Astros, the 6th and the 7th. I'm interested to see who's going to be on the mound here in the 8th. Let me take a look and see if there's been a change yet. Brian Abreu is in. Okay, that's easy. Let me go and change that on the screen. Brian Abreu. I'm not surprised to see Abreu. Here we go. Bryan Abreu on the mound. Now facing the first batter here for the Padres, Luis Ariz. Or Louis Ariz. Now I'm getting his first name wrong. Ball one on the outside. Here comes the next pitch. Right in there, 85 miles an hour. Good pitch, high in the zone. A sinker. Or no, I'm sorry, a slider. Over 2 today is Ariz with a walk. Here's the next pitch. That one's high and outside. Ball 2. 2-1. Two balls, one strike to Ariz. Here's the pitch from Abreu. Way outside by more than a foot. Ball 3. Temperature is much cooler today. The sun is being blocked. The skies are completely overcast. It's supposed to be a rainy day. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Outside, ball 4. So just one strike from Abreu there. And Ariz is a leadoff runner after a walk from Abreu. That's 2 walks today for Ariz. Patrick says, beautiful calm sea, blue skies, nothing but blue skies I see. That's the way it was here yesterday, but today is just completely overcast. Manny Machado comes to the plate with a runner on, no outs. That first pitch from Abreu is dead center, 97 mile per hour fastball, strike 1. How about a double play ball? Haven't seen any of those, I think, this game so far, not for the Astros. I don't remember seeing any double play balls. That was a check swing. Did he go? No, they say he did not. That was close. Crowd booing a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing that replay. Here's the replay. Man, that was also a close pitch. Could have been a strike. Abreu throws over to first, but he's back, no problem. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Machado. He hits this one straight up. It looks like it's going to be playable, and it is. Walker's underneath it in foul territory. He doesn't have to move much for it. And he steps on first base, but the runner's already he's already back. He's like, man, why did you step on the base? My foot's there. That was funny. Out number 1. Machado goes down on a foul ball. And that brings up Gavin Sheets. Caratini doing some sign language with Bryan Abreu. Over 6 versus Abreu in his career. Here's the first pitch. Right in there. 97. Low and inside. Beautiful pitch. 97 mile per hour fastball. 0-1 is the count. The 10th pitch on the way from Abreu. Good pitch, fouled off. 85 mile per hour slider, almost in the dirt. The bottom fell out of it. The runner was going, but he's going to jog back to first. 0-2 is the count. Crowd is giving a little bit of support for Abreu, looking for a strikeout here. I'd like to see a fastball about 3 inches above the zone. Let's see what he goes with here with the 0-2 pitch. Long delay. Here's the delivery. Ooh, strike 3, 98, low and inside, and he took it. He took it. He took it like a champ. Abreu does pick up the strikeout with the fastball, but it was not a high fastball like I was expecting. It was low and inside, but look how beautiful that was. He wasn't expecting that. No one expects the Inquisition or the Abreu inside fastball. 2 outs. That brings up Oscar Gonzalez. Here's the first pitch to him. Bounces low and outside. Good pick by Caratini to scoop that up. Ball 1. Gonzalez is 0 for 3 with a ground out. Batting in the middle of the lineup for the Padres. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good slider. Man, that was a dirty pitch. What a beauty. 1-1 is the count. Abreu taking his time. He's got the pitch he wants. Here it comes. Fouled off. 88-mile-per-hour slider on the outside corner. Another beautiful pitch. Gonzalez couldn't do anything with it. The runner went, and he's going to have to walk back to first again. He's working pretty hard over there, getting some exercise. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here in the 8th inning, the top of the 8th. Fans cheering a little bit, looking for another strikeout here. Abreu comes set. Here's the delivery. Tapper to first. No, Altuve is going to have to play it. He fires it over to first, and he gets the out just in time. Good play by Altuve. He has to hustle over on that opposite field ground ball, scoops it up, fires it to Christian Walker, gets the out. Abreu comes through, gets the Astros through the top of the 8th with no damage done, and Altuve with a great play on that scoop and play to Christian Walker to get the final out. We're going to move into the bottom of the 8th. The Astros come up with the lead 3-2 with an opportunity to add to that. Jeremy Pena, who's 0 for 3 today, will be batting, followed by Christian Walker and Yainer Diaz. Man, exciting close game today. A little different than yesterday's game. Yesterday's game was also exciting, but it was because there were a ton of hits by both teams. It was a hitter's game. And today it's been a pitcher's game. Just a matter of, who breaks first. The Astros relievers really getting the job done. Wisniewski only gave up 2 runs, but the relievers so far have 3 solid innings. Taylor Scott putting up 2 scoreless innings. Abreu putting up a scoreless inning. My guess is that they're going to have Josh Hader come in for the 9th. My other guess is that Estrada is not going to be on the mound for the Padres. Let's see if they've changed the pitcher. That information is changed on the screen, then I will change it on mine. Right now, there is no change. Oh, there it is. There is a change. Okay. I don't know how to say his name, though. Adrian Morejon? Morejon? Morejon. I'll wait for the commentators to say his name, and then I'll try to pronounce it. Morejon. Morejon is his name. Okay. All right. First pitch on the way to Pena in just a moment. Fouled back for strike 1. Jeremy Pena does have a hitting streak going on right now, and that's on the line with this at bat. This is most likely his last opportunity to keep that hitting streak. No runners on here in the bottom of the 8th with 1 strike, no balls. Here's the next pitch from Morejon. Right in there on the inside corner. Good pitch. 0-2. Third pitch to Pena on the way. 0-2 count. Way high. Man, that was almost 2 feet out of the zone. Easy take there by Pena. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 97 miles an hour. Morejon, the left-handed pitcher. Here comes the next pitch to Pena. Pena hits it up the middle. Is it going to be playable with the second baseman? He fumbles it a little bit. The ball gets away. Pena's going to have himself. Is it going to be a hit or an error? They might give him a hit because that was a difficult play. But we have a leadoff runner again with Pena on first base. That was a really difficult play. Let's take another look at it. You can see that he had to catch it on the run. It got kind of caught in his glove, and he had to kind of fumble it and get it over there quick. It was a bad throw. Got away from him at first base, and Pena got on. Are they going to give him a hit? It looks like they're going to give it to him. So Pena's hitting streak has continued. He's 1 for 4 today. That brings up Christian Walker, who had a 2-run homer his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. Walker hits this to right field. Opposite field is hit pretty hard all the way into the corner and just barely into the stands. Tatis is not able to get to it. Man, he gave it a ride out to right field. Whoo, he's threatening to go opposite field homer. That would have been awesome. One to the Crawford boxes, one to right field. Man, a back-to-back home run game for Walker after a back-to-back home run game for Smith. I'd love to see that. 0-1 with no outs, runner on first. Morejon comes set. Here's the pitch. Walker takes that one right in there, 98 miles an hour. The count is 0-2. Man. Man. 0-2. Here's the pitch to Walker. This is hit hard to left, center field. That's going to be easily played, though. Out number 1. Fly out for Walker. Pena stays on first base. They're showing some highlights whenever Altuve got ejected last year. He hit the ball off of his foot, and he took off his shoe, and the umpire ejected him from the game. But Altuve was right. That was not a hit. That was a foul ball. The umps got it wrong. Diaz is at the plate right now. First pitch is high for ball 1. Good take. But the Astros did wind up winning 4-3 in that game, so that was good. They held on. 1-0 against Diaz. This one's hit hard to the left side, but it's going to be straight to the shortstop. He has to dive for the ball. The second baseman has to dive to get it. Pena's going to be out. But they have no play to first base because of the bad throw from the shortstop. So Diaz will be safe at first on the fielder's choice. Diaz 0 for 4 today. Victor Caratini, the Batman, comes to the plate, and he would be batting right-handed against the left-hander. This is the first time today he's batted righty. And here comes the first pitch from Morejon. Swing and a miss. Woo! 98 miles an hour. It looks like, even though he missed that pitch, it looks like Caratini was ready for that fastball. He just didn't get the bat on it. Josh Hader is warming up in the bullpen for the Astros right now. Caratini takes a timeout, steps out of the box. The Batman needs time to think about his tool belt. Pam, it's so good to see you again. I was thinking about you earlier when I started the stream. I was wondering how you're doing. How are you feeling recently? Busy with family? I understand. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Caratini. It's another swing and a miss on a same pitch. 98 mile per hour fastball, strike 2. 0-2 is the count. Okay, change your tool, Batman, to something else. I haven't seen a home run from Caratini in a while. It's been a long while. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Morejon. This one's fouled off. 96 mile per hour fastball. Count remains 0-2. Woohoo, let's go Astros. I agree, Pam. 100%. Let's go. We got to get through one more inning, but it'd be nice for them to tack on some more runs right here. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Caratini. A little high. He takes the first ball. 98. About 8 inches up out of the zone. 1-2. Morejon getting close to 15 pitches. This next one will be his 14th. Here comes pitch. Another one just high. That one a little closer to the zone, but still too high. Good take by Caratini. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. This one goes straight up. He hits it up to the infield, arises over, and he plays it around, dances around, finally gets it, and that'll be out number 3. Astros don't do anything in the 8th. We're going to go to the top of the 9th. Astros leading 3-2. Hader is going to be on the mound for the Stros. I need to find his picture. There we go. And change the name. One of the things I actually could do to save myself a little time is to take these picture images, at least the Astros. It would take too much time, and it's not worth the effort to do it for the opposing teams. But since I use the same pictures over and over again for the Astros, if I actually make an image that includes the picture as well as the pitcher's name together, then I don't have to input the text separately. I could just drop in the picture and it already has the name on the screen. I'll probably take the time to go through my folder and do that later on. It's something that I've been meaning to do. Because right now what I have to do is I have to select the pitcher's picture, change that, and then I have to select the name and then type the pitcher's name in. I could save myself just a little bit of time in the live stream by putting the pitcher's name and the picture together, so I only have to change one item on the screen. So anything that I can do to streamline this a little bit better is nice. But that's where we're at right now. In just a moment, we'll be back in the game for the top of the 9th. Who is Hader going to be facing? Unless there's a change to the lineup, he's going to be facing Iglesias. We'll see. 6 hits for the Padres this game, 7 hits for the Astros. They haven't gone crazy. They got about half as many hits today as they did yesterday. It's been more of a pitcher's game. 10 innings for Hader with an ERA of .9. First pitch to Iglesias is on the way, and it's right in the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Good sinker, or slider rather. 3 strikeouts. I'm sorry, 0 for 3 today with a strikeout for Iglesias. Here's the next pitch. 93 miles an hour fouled away, back to the backstop. 0-2. Hader jumping ahead in the count really quickly, not wasting any time here. Let's see what he can do here to trick him for strike 3. Throws it in the dirt. That's not much of a trick. That's kind of a gimme. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see if Iglesias can drink the Haterade. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. This is hit out in the right field, opposite field. Is it going to get down? It does, just inside the foul line. That might be a double. It is. Iglesias is on with a leadoff double. Just a lucky opposite field bloop. It was maybe 1 foot fair. Cam Smith got over there as quickly as he could, but not before Iglesias was able to get to second base. Just a lucky opposite field hit. Just barely fair. Look at that. Just barely. Right there. Tyler Wade will not be batting. There's a pinch hitter coming in for him. Xander Bogaerts. Xander Bogaerts. 1 for 9 in his career pinch hitting. He's going to be up. No outs, runner on second. Hader's got the call that he wants. Here comes the first pitch to Bogaerts. Too far inside on that fastball. 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Here's the pitch from Hader. That one's also way inside. Ball two. Two pitches almost identical. 95 miles an hour. Sinker way inside. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Bogaerts. Hader gets the swing and a miss on that one. An 85 mile per hour slider. This one a little slower at 85. But in the lower inside part of the zone. That was a good pitch. 2-1 is the count. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Fouled away for strike two. Another sinker, 95 miles an hour, so that evens the count, 2-2. Astros and Padres right now, just like yesterday, evened up in the hits, 7-7. Yesterday they were matching each other with the hits. Doing it again today. No outs yet. Hader possibly looking for a strikeout here. Here's the pitch. Another fastball, kind of a sinker fastball. 97 fouled back. Count remains 2-2. Got about a dozen people watching right now. How many likes? Did I get to 20 yet? I think not. No, I'm only at 14. Got 6 more likes to go, guys. I need to get to 20 likes. So if you haven't already, please like the video so I can get to 20. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Too far inside, full count. That pitch looked like the first two. 97 miles an hour, almost a foot inside. Full count. Crowd's getting a little excited. Here's a pitch. This is hit out to left field all the way to Jordan in left field. He gets the ball at the wall on the warning track, and he holds the runner at second base. Iglesias goes back. Woo, that was dangerous. That was hit all the way out to the Crawford box wall in left field. Man, but Jordan runs out there and gets it right at the wall, just barely. Iglesias is not able to tag. And that's out number 1. Whew, that was close. Elias Diaz comes to the plate. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A foul tip caught by Caratini. 95 miles an hour. Strike 1. Wow, Diaz is 1 for 19 versus Hader with 6 strikeouts. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. This one's hit hard, or light rather, to right field. And what a catch by Walker. He makes an over-the-head catch, and he saves the opposite field single. Holy cow, the crowd goes crazy. What a good basket over the head or over the shoulder catch by Walker. That could have been a dangerous one right there. Opposite field hit by Diaz. And just a good play there by Walker to make the catch. And that's out number 2. And guess who's coming up as a pinch hitter, guys? It's Yuli Gurriel. Yuli Gurriel coming up here in the top of the 9th with 2 outs to face the Astros, to face his old team. Good old Yuli. He's going to be facing Hader. 40 years old, Yuli Gurriel. Just want to show him on the screen there. There's good old Yuli. Two outs, runner on second. Gurriel at the plate facing Josh Hader. Here comes the first pitch. He goes after that first one, 96-mile-per-hour pitch, fouls it back, strike one. Astros just 1 out away from taking this series and beating a very strong team 2 games in a row. The first time to win 2 games in a row this entire season. Yuli Gurriel pops it to right field. Cam Smith is underneath it and puts it away for out number 3. How do you like that? The Astros take the first 2 games at home versus the Padres. First time the Astros have won 2 games back-to-back this entire season. What a great game this was, guys. Yesterday was a great game. Today was a great game. So enjoyable to watch these games and call them for you guys. So happy to see the outcome today. The Astros did it. John says, I'm taking shots of Jaeger again. Man, you love that stuff. Chris says, FUC. Sorry, I'm not going to say that, but... yeah, man, Hader does it. He did give up the double, but he comes through. Yuli flies out for the final out of the game. Kind of poetic in a way that Yuli Gurriel, former Astro, is the final out of the game. I'm going to give you guys a recap of that game right quick, and then we'll be out of here. That was a nice game, a really nice low-scoring game, a kind of a pitcher's duel, but there was a decent amount of hitting going on and a lot of action in that game. So, you know, it was pretty nice. It was an enjoyable game. I really liked this game. We got to see several pitchers. We got to see some good plays, some interesting plays. But essentially, at its core, it was a pitching game. It's just a matter of who could sneak the runs out, and the Astros managed to do it. And they beat a very strong team and are now 9-10. They are 1 win away from sweeping this series from the Padres, arguably either one of the best, or they're definitely one of the best, or the best team in the MLB right now. But the Astros put up 2 wins against them back-to-back and are 1 win away from a sweep. The scoring summary for the game is as follows. In the 3rd inning, Tatis started the scoring with a solo homer to left field into the Crawford boxes, 1-0. In the top of the 5th, the Padres would tack on another run when Machado doubled to center field, scoring Tatis. 2-0 Padres. The Astros finally got on the board in the 6th inning when Walker hit a 2-run shot to the Crawford boxes, just 372 feet, scoring Paredes and tying up the game 2-2. That was the big hit of the game. And then Paredes came through in the bottom of the 7th with a very light single on a full count to center field, scoring Caratini, the Batman, and giving the Astros the lead 3-2. From that point forward, the 7th, the 8th, actually the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, it was all Astros closers. They shut down the Padres. They couldn't do anything, really. Almost nothing. They got almost nothing. 2 great innings from Scott. Taylor Scott actually gets the win today because he was on the mound when the Astros took the lead. But Abreu came in and had a solid inning. Hader came in and had a solid inning. The Astros pitchers really came through today with a very difficult team, giving up only 2 runs the entire game. 7 hits for both teams, no errors. Astros win it 3-2. And the Astros on a winning streak. Yes, finally, we have a 2-game winning streak. A 2-game winning streak. And the first time that the Astros have won 2 games in a row this entire season. It's been like win-lose, 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 win-lose. So, awesome. 1 win away from being 500. Where do the Astros stand in the division? Let's take a quick look. Did the Mariners lose the game earlier today? No, they didn't. Toronto let me down. The Mariners came through with 4 runs. Holy cow. And won that game. But let's take a look at the standings, shall we? Astros are currently last place, but it doesn't really say too much. They're only 3 games back of first place, and everybody else is either 3 or 2 games back. So the AL West is very, very tight. It's very, very close. The Rangers are 13-8 in first place, and the Astros are 9-10. That's not too big of a difference. The A's, the Mariners, the Angels basically all have the same record. They're all 2 games back. Well, the Athletics are 3 games back with the Astros, but no big deal. Astros run differential is just -2. They're basically break even right now. If they were just scoring moderately, they would be plus. So pitching has really helped them out a lot. They just need to be coming through when it matters most, like today and yesterday. The bats have been there when they needed them most. Christian Walker in particular today. Yesterday, it was Cam Smith. Who's it going to be tomorrow? The Astros are going to be facing the Padres for Game 3 tomorrow. Framber Valdez is going to be on the mound again. A good, strong choice, I think, for Game 3, giving the Astros the best possibility to sweep this series. What a great feather in the hat that would be, and a big turnaround for the Astros to sweep this series against a very strong team. Not only would it get them back to being 500 for the season, it would also give them a sweep against an amazing team. It would give them a confidence boost. It would likely give them some momentum from many different aspects. So, like I said before this series even started, how great would it be for the Astros to sweep this series in particular? And they're working on it. They are working on it. The Padres went from being, 15-4 to now 15-6. The Astros have handed them 2 straight losses. I don't want the Astros to be helping the Dodgers, because I don't like the Dodgers. But whenever a team plays the Astros must win. No matter what, the Astros must win. They always must win. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for liking the channel. Final count on the likes on my video is 15. 5 short of my 20 target. But I appreciate you all being here today and listening in, following along, liking, subscribing, all of that good stuff, and of course all the comments. I wish you a good morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the world. And the last thing I can say for you, all you good people, is Geaux Stros, and I will see you